gonna do? What you gonna
just wanna be alone. I don't need your company, stop blowing up my phone. You don't get the things that I've been through, and I don't have the time to lay it all in front of you. And you think that you wanna save me. You don't know it, baby, why you do this? I got this under control. You think you do, but you really don't know that I don't need a savior. You can't be my savior. I'll save myself. I'll save myself. No, I don't need a savior. You can't be my savior. I'll save myself. I'll save myself. But you really don't know that I don't need a savior. You can't be my savior. I'll save myself. I'll save myself. No, I don't need a savior. You can't be my savior. I'll save myself. I'll save myself. I stand back and I watch you explore in perfect visions like I've been here before. Falling faster, I try to ignore. I see you, I see you. I'll let you drag me to hell if you hold my hand. Tell me this is real and it will never end. This is not what I came here to find. Memories show that I'm out of time. See a shadow, don't know if it's mine, but I see you, I see you, I see you, I see Way too many faces in the crowd, but I think that I see you. One too many drinks got me changing up the way that I need you. Now we're both at a bar, acting like it's not hard, trying to feel something different. Talk to somebody new, kinda wish it was you, kinda numb to the feeling. Now that you're gone, they say time should heal, but it's been too long. Couple months and I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to. I can't seem to. Not that you're gone. I can't seem to. I can't seem to. Laying on my floor, thinking about all the things that we've been through. From 24/7 to pretending like I never met you. No, it's all for the best, cause I know we're a mess every time we're together. Going out of my mind, and I wish I could lie, tell you that it gets better. Now that you're gone, they say time should heal, but it's been too long. Couple months where I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to. I can't seem to. I can't seem to. Now that you're gone, they say time should heal, but it's been too long. Couple months and I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to.
Hello and welcome, Rocket League fans. We are here and we are live. Little collegiate action coming hot at you. I'm FBI Tugboat. Here with my man is Hail Monkey Man. Hail Monkey Man. Back into it. Hey, there you go. There you go. I love it. I love it. That just sits right on top too.
Perfect. It's at the peak of what we're doing tonight, especially because we're at the peak of competition here for the fall tugboat. It's fall playoffs, and we've been referencing that a whole heck ton in the green room just before we get into this broadcast. But it's been happening at least for the last couple of days, and we've shredded through the competition, and now we're gonna be able to see at least 3 awesome matches for round 1. The coolest thing that I think has been happening this semester, we all are doing best of 7. It's not just reserved for the big boys and not just for the brackets, but it's for everyone that wants to play the game. And now that means I think everyone's conditioned to getting into these big brackets after all.
It's a very fair point. Yeah, not in just for the D1, D2 folks. Everybody, all the way down. I believe we go down to D10 within Rocket League for the NECC. Everybody is getting those longer series, regular season, postseason. You're playing within NEC's Rocket League. You were getting a best of 7, my friend. We got a trio of helpings. Yes! Some fantastic stuff. Now, we'll be treating this one, obviously what we've been doing the NECC After Dark for here a while, obviously. The playoffs will be treating this D4 match that's coming up last a little bit more seriously than we may have in the past. We'll still interact with y'all in chat, at least a little bit, as long as you keep it civil. I cannot stress that last part enough. Going through this trio, though. Yeah, Monkey Man will get after you. You see that? We got Edinburgh University taking on MSU Red. Monkey Man, Edinburgh University having a tiny bit of a different regular season performance than MSU. We have 6-1 Edinburgh, looking at 5-2 regular season record for MSU Red.
Yeah, this team, you're going to look kind of across the line from one another, and it was Edinburgh that got the job done a little bit sooner, but MSU at that 5-2 mark still looking very feisty, especially as a carryover from their spring performances. They got first rounded in both their divisional or their conference playoffs as well as going into the nationals, but they made it there. There's a lot of teams and a lot of schools that can not say that they did. So considering what the Red Hawks' previous, I guess, resume is looking like and what has currently been able to carry some of that momentum, looking at the Fighting Scots. Fighting Scots are in a great spot to really contend with them. So, and we talked about who's going to be maybe their potential opponent forthcoming with W&M or St. Lawrence University. So both these teams want to start off hot, and the difference right now for this particular division is it's not double elimination. It's single elimination. That means everything is on the table. There's no life left to live. Well, we got game number 1. Let's kick it off.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of life here, but a big shout out. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to the production staff, or not the production. We'll shout out the production staff here in a minute. I want to talk about the coaching staff, here for these two squads. We'll talk about the players plenty. Yettsboro here. Oh, a lot of danger here early. Yettsboro for the Edinburgh University. We got Danny for the coaching staff over here at MSU Red. Just want to give them a shout out before we really get started.
It's all about that deep kind of program style. This is a Division 5 matchup, so you definitely got to be looking at it because as we go through the slate today, we've got a big spread of not just the talent, but overall the programs that will be represented across this playoff season. That's what we've been really loving to highlight going into this semester. It's like we got back to our roots, but rooted in the deepness of competition is, in fact, Edinburgh's. The Fighting Scots have been on the attack, and the Red Hawks are having to receive early and often here in minute number 1.
Cynical with a demo here, and early Tank Pillow almost getting that one done. Almost on the ball, but did get the demo on the backside. But if you're going to get that demo, Edinburgh, you got to go forth and take advantage from it. Essentially what they just did was take a player and give them 33 boost, right? They were already on that side. Nice stop play there from the side. Cynical is going to take this one down, try to make it work themselves. No, the chow comes in, and this hit wayward for no serious effect.
Ooh, but a drop down. Chance to maybe get it going. Cynical has now become my player to watch, at least in this moment, just because of the uptick of tempo and the nice little touch that they found here and there to take it away from Red Hawk players. Sleepy Chris, Soft Musty, gets a nice collection, but you're seeing an extension right now by the Red Hawks moving up and down this pitch without a lot of boost to have to handle it because the Fighting Scots have been in their face, in their grill. Looking for the 1-2 combination. This extension finally makes it past Roost. They're going to be first on the board.
There we go. Afro down towards the middle right here, and then Cynical back to it. Just gets right under the nose, flicks this one on in. Minute 50, so not an early goal. Wouldn't necessarily call it a late goal, but I will call it a goal for Edinburgh here for a 1-0 lead.
think we're going to see a lot more of that, but that'll be later times. As up my downers, they're going up and down to find this one as MSU. It was from the kickoff, from the rotation before the Scots were able to settle, and they find it and tie us up.
Fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. This happens, what, about 10 seconds, about 10 seconds later, and a great job right there getting this one in.
Slowly but surely, you're seeing all of the identity right now out of Edinburgh be physicality. That's going to be a slow collection and a lot of trust by some teammates over in the nest out of MSU, as Edinburgh seems to be provocative in the way that they just want to be physical. Stealing some extra boosts, though. Redhawks find themselves at least mounting an approach to start taking away from some field space that the Fighting Scots had found before, but that swing and a miss is going to give them a chance to break out.
Hey, it's still about those opportunities, though. Afro almost gets it done up top. Now a low, slow roller. Members of MSU actually waiting a little bit too long to get onto that ball. I really feel like that could have been a point the other way if they'd really taken advantage from this and coordinated with their teammates.
It's good collection. It's always been a slow start for MSU. And that's not totally in a negative way, but with the quickness that especially Cynical likes to drop, this is going to be lethal. What a find! Sleepy Chris, not asleep at the wheel. This one will bonk off the fourth man. Old Ironsides here for MSU playing a major factor, but look how low everyone is. There's a 23 boost collected between 3 people. That's going to be very helpful in getting at least something back in the tank, but the rotation is turning into ashes right now, Tugboat. Still somehow tied at 1 with 100 seconds to go.
Yeah, once again, the rotations here not really coming out for this game number 1 of this best of 7 series. Longer series like we mentioned earlier, folks. 90 seconds left right now, 1-1. I mean, it's a low-scoring game. Cynical just gets escorted all the way inside and given a free goal.
Found this one over the top of a middleman, and then that was apparently the front man from the front post. As soon as that was vacated there, Tugboat, that was an open zone. Everyone was lagging on the other end of that rotation from the backside of the net, and that was just, that has to be your awareness of where you are and the rest of your teammates are on the pitch. So that's going to be one for the Scots. They might find themselves at least profiting from a late extension, but that gets past all 3. Sleepy Chris has a chance to at least dish it up. He might find one, but they can't dig it in.
Some fantastic stuff. 60 seconds into this one, down low, hits there. Afro trying to find it and just gets demoed for the reference, Monkey Man.
All the way to the back box too. MSU has shown life, but it has also been Edinburgh that has continued to just be faster. They have gotten out of position a couple of times. Redhawks need to capitalize when they can, but the mistakes are going to start being a little bit more tight, and the windows of opportunity will be closer. Trying to get a flip reset. Nice tackle by MSU. Can Montclair State maybe tie this one up late? Dummy Dan with a nice turn. That's a smart move. Backboard. Anyone there? Up my downers just a step late.
Yeah, so it's not the fact that these opportunities have been lacking. There's been plenty of opportunity, both of these squads, but I'm really talking about MSU Red as of right now. At least in game number 1, a 1-score differential, and we're in solo digit seconds left here. Goes for the defender, up and downs, trying to set up their teammate for success. A little tapping play, goes to the inside and just a little bit out.
I have one more chance. Quick turnaround. It's still airborne! Oh, my downers never giving up! Just as we thought. It was a sure thing. Sleepy Chris with one extra touch. We go bonus time as they win a tackle between 2 defenders. 2-2, can you believe it?
Wowzers. Hey, if I didn't read that we were in the playoffs earlier, I would have known by this game number 1, an electrifying game number 1 that has not failed to entertain across the first 5 minutes of this broadcast. Cynical, oh man, this is a Cynical player that just did this during regular time. I thought they were going to be gifted another.
And given some chances that I feel like MSU really needs to start locking down on. It's tough to do, especially with the way Cynical wants to execute with pace and with speed. The good news is that MSU has a never give up mentality. Front face of the crossbar, that's actually first shots here in overtime. Found by the Redhawks. They might be able to have some late-term thievery of game 1 if Edinburgh does not lock in.
Cynical, but an absolute master of getting this past defending lines and stretching the pitch as best you can. And what I mean by that is just utilizing the space in front of you, right? Great takeover here. MSU at least started an offensive run. All three players dashed back, but it was a great job respecting the rotations there from Dummy Dan. A bouncing ball, but that's just a little bit to the outside again.
Rotation from that back corner. It's going to be Tank Pillow that's going to have a lot of responsibility because Cynical just got down. Afro is at least going to come up, but he and his teammate in Tank both end up going to the same exact corner. Sleepy Chris, I don't know if they just want to sleep at the wheel or otherwise, but this one's going to be one over the other, and one, you know it, MSU. They survive, they get a 0-second, and they take game one.
Fantastic stuff. This is my ups and downs on the assist rate here, or excuse me, on the goal that got an overtime and also got that 0-second to bring this one back from the brink. Fantastic stuff, and a big shout out here to this Mount Clair Redhawks squad. Let's take a look at the numbers right now. Yeah, not a massive difference in the amount of shots, not a massive difference in the amount of saves. I guess one extra assist here to go along with that one extra goal for MSU Red.
That's fantastic work. And, you know, it was all made possible by them staying just very kind of just focused at that final goal line stand. And as well as by maybe Up My Downers getting 3 for 3. Just looking at them, finding that hat trick, and making use of when their teammates were giving them chances to take it over against the Scots. Cynical definitely is the tip of the spear. I feel like that you and I can agree with that. Yep. They've got a very solid weapon in that player. It's about that finishing form and the third man, making sure that that doesn't become an exposed zone gap. That has to be locked in, because otherwise Scots, they were good to go. MSU definitely should have been shut down in regulation time, and you know they've got to feel like that one escaped them.
Yeah, I think this boils down to the difference between offensive individual efforts and then an entire team getting behind. And then, like, yes, it was fantastic efforts from Up and Downs, right, to have gotten the 0-second goal, and then obviously to have gotten the overtime goal as well. But it was Cynical just putting the team on the back and realizing, like you said, when there's a lane open, why would I not take that? And both of those have been gifted so far. I'll say, if we continue to kind of see that, I do see Edinburgh pulling away with this one, because if you give up these lanes in defense, it doesn't have to be Cynical that takes them.
Also, just for, actually, wait, talk about some free nets. Cynical did not have any boost. Yeah, he's like, come on, guys, that's a little too open. Like, make the highlight reel look a little bit better. Come on. But also for clarification, because we keep saying Edinburgh, but this is in fact Pennsylvania Western University at Edinburgh. So just making sure that they get the full name, full regard. Gotcha. That's a nice slapper, and that's gonna be clapped in. Tank Pillow. They get another early lead for the Scots.
Gotcha. Probably just referred him as a Scots Huron, but fantastic job. Cynical walks the dog all the way inside, and Tank Pillow gonna take him on in for the night. No cold sleeping tonight. 40 seconds here. Edinburgh up 1-0.
For any of you that are looking at the night sky tonight, apparently all of us are going to see the Aurora Borealis. It doesn't matter if you're in like Texas or Montana, just go look up. But make sure you stretch first. I know that sometimes that muscle can be a bit sore. So
it's true.
First minute. Okay, I like the MSU, like the first minute or two of game number 1, it was all Scots. This time around, they have definitely found a way to at least stretch this field a lot more lengthy.
I gotta agree with you. Again, we keep saying Syndical's name, but anybody could have and has so far stepped up in game number 2. Tank Pillow almost gets his lunch eaten right in front of him off the plate. There's a couple of members from Edinburgh that had a front row seat to that one as well. They're going to be really happy that one didn't go in, especially in that fashion. Ups and downs actually being taken down. They got to get on the other side of this one. Not going to happen. Edinburgh, once again, slow roller, but everybody from MSU is on the other side of this. This is just this is just a factor of respecting the rotations just a tiny bit more. You know, not cheating up too early here, Monkey Man, to try and get in the offensive position.
Which now is going to give Edinburgh a nicer, just comfy lead. Because MSU, I feel like both these teams definitely have kind of a third-man approach that is a little lacking. However, oh wow, My Downers continues to be the only scorer for the Redhawks. And sometimes these kickoff rotations are going to be where they find the most profit.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, 4 scores here for MSU Red across an overtime game 1 and then 1 minute 43 seconds, excuse me, of game number 2. Up and downs. I mean, been assisted plenty, sure, up and down. But, like, it's only been this player actually getting them in. One shot for one goal. Up my downers.
And it's not without MSU also looking for further opportunities to get some midfield passing going. That's a fantastic fake. It becomes a 3-on-1. Sleepy Chris, they are able to get one light tap. They do not panic when they see 3 blue cars bearing down upon them in isosceles formation. MSU, the quick turn, and that bang will be denied by Cynical.
Love the voice. At the end of the day, like a big hats off to the solo defensive player back, but what that should have been is actually that play right there, except that was a 2-on-1, and it was a little bit harder for the third defensive player back to have gone forth and actually made a play on the defense there. When you have a 3-on-1, both of those two players who do not possess the ball at the time need to have one objective, and that is take out that unfortunate player on the backside, send them to the respawn realm.
Or at least, at minimum, look for the shot that comes next, because they can only make one effort. The next effort then needs to be basically free. So you have the backdoor man. You see it in hockey a lot. So everyone starts focusing on the front post, and then the back post becomes just wide open territory. 2 minutes, that's a drop. Where's the next man? A little bit far back, and you're seeing again MSU with the Redhawks roosting back, playing a lot more safe.
Yeah, you got to. Yeah, home is where the heart is, and also where you can defend from getting scored upon. I know it doesn't flow quite as well. Sleepy Chris in the back. Oh, tries to take this corner in. Edinburgh does, but great defensive stop thus far. Yeah, Dummy Dan up my downers, and Sleepy Chris have done a much better job in the second half of this so far, of this game too, that is, to have shut down those like wide open net opportunities here as Up My Downers tries to nose this in right down the middle. Whoa, what a clear.
Great setup speedster, and actually because of that clear, it does present a gap, but it's a very closed window thereafter. That's a freebie. No!
Oh my God, no.
The one man that's been scoring at the goal line, he's like, I've never seen it so free. I can only do so when there's 3 defenders in front of me. Less than a minute to go. That one's going to make them kick their own pants and see if they can be able to get back into the dance.
Yeah, it's like, no, I have to dunk on multiple members at the same time if it's given over to me. What to do? God knows we've all been there before. 40 seconds to go. It's a classic drill. MSU down by 1. What do you do? Picking up boost would definitely be ideal coming into that. Sleepy Chris listens to it. To the side we go. Tries to get this done themselves. What? Ease it inside. It's a second tap that doesn't make it in, but the third will not be denied. 2-2.
Well, Edinburgh is starting to see flashes of game number 1. This one happening about 25 seconds sooner than it did then. Is MSU never say die. Finally connecting on the midfield pass. That one took a little bit of extra effort from the crossbar. Can the Redhawks steal yet another? Edinburgh trying to bear down upon him on the early rotation from kickoff. This is going to leave it as Tank Pillow sees it stolen away. He's going to remount onto the ladder. This has a nice drop to it, but it's MSU under fire.
Oh, a great job playing that. Again, we kind of talked about earlier, that fullback position, going for it, taking out the first blocker. It still works, and the position is not dead. Ground ball. Into overtime we go for the second of these first 2 games. Best of 7, and they're paying out in spades so far, Monkey Man. To the skies, Tank Pillow goes, which is an odd sentence.
We'll continue to have even more of them. Drop out and in. MSU has always been fast. They have been furious as they continue to frost over the Fighting Scots. A double commit from out of the back line. That's actually going to present this gap. Awkward positioning, and yet found just fine by Up My Downers. We are half minute in, and MSU seems to be navigating this one pretty sound.
Afro, a great job reading this. It wasn't the biggest of clears, but Cynical keeps up the momentum on that one until Sleepy Chris has got something to say about it to stop. And now a pop to the right side. Tank Pillow brings us out from the corner. Down low, a great second hit. Monkey Man, that was on its way. That was on its way outside of a tiny defensive effort.
It really was. That one was going to be right over his head. And you know that they are now just clapping him on the back, but they've got to reach over and get back to it. Can he do it again? They do! The follow-up and finding it to a teammate. The defense is just as strong as the offensive effort. Cynical trying to solo everyone. See if they can be able to fake them out. We are more than a minute now here into our Game 2 OT. So far, these two teams just can't leave each other well enough alone.
Yeah, it's true. And both of these teams, I mean, like, so the offensive player, like that foremost spear on the trident player who's first to make a move onto these, are frequently coming in here with just a little bit of boost. And that's literally exactly what we just saw, right? Up by downers, burns everything just to get there. Doesn't have any boost to try and reposition or anything else like that. And it's a more methodical stop and drop from the other side, from Edinburgh. Now, for a little while, MSU was in the defensive position. That situation is over inside. Almost gets there.
They're playing on a knife's edge. There's not a lot of territory when you're on that thin of metal, but still they're somehow balancing this effort. You have Tank Pillow. He's facing his own net, having to make a reverse course. This one right over the head of Cynical. Up my downers with a setup play, trying to get Sleepy Chris involved if they can do so. Dummy Dan from the extension outside. That's a double commit. That's going to isolate his teammate. They've only got one effort. It ends up on the undercarriage of Sleepy Chris. 217. These first two games for a best of 7 often can be the most forgiving if you leave them, but you want both of them. If you're MSU, you would love to start off with this series lead.
Up my downers gets a wonky first touch against it, realizes, oh my goodness, that was almost it. Offender just came in and made that one sing. More than half of a Rocket League game has expired. Dummy Dan trying to get it done themselves, has the boost, has the skills. Defenders on the other side say you did not pay enough. Up to it. Great job reading this from Sleepy Chris.
Very high premiums to have to pay. And with 3 minutes now, it's starting to get a little bit wearing and tearing. This is a BO7, of course, but with this type of extra time added to the clock, it's going to start like feeling, well, I don't know, best of 9s and 11s. Afro going for the bump after they can't catch up. 2-2. This has been the mark to at least proceed there from game 1 and onward. Everyone in retreat. Afro will not be. They have a setup to Cynical. This series is tied.
Love it. Love it. Edinburgh takes down game number 2. MSU takes down game number 1. That boiling down of the series that you mentioned comes forth. 4 minutes since the last score right there. Cynical finds it from Afro. Fed all day. Fantastic stuff. Take a look at this. These numbers, extended as they may have been, right? 8+ minutes of Rocket League. And even across a longer series, man, like you start to anticipate some of these numbers really deviating, or one of these teams' numbers, I should say, deviating from the next. But what is that? 13 shots for one, 11 shots for others, over almost 9 minutes of Rocket League. I'd say that's pretty standard.
Yeah, it's honestly, with the way that everyone has been getting involved, this wasn't just we had 2-2, is very defensive. Everyone's getting a try at the net. And you're also seeing the defense mostly being where the Redhawks are starting a lot of their play. They definitely don't contend too much from direct midfield. You see that a lot in Division 5 play. They're playing outwards to the perimeter, and often it comes down to that final line, not just the third, but the latter quarter of that pitch. So both sides are answering. It took one solid 1-2 gasher for Cynical to find a gap, but otherwise, there was a lot of great reads from the defenses of both these teams.
I have to agree with you. This is such a great matchup, bro. Like these two teams are so well matched up, and it feels great to cover like a well-matched Rocket League best of 7 between two teams that have really known each other and are really performing pretty similarly here. Both teams kind of have like their real offensive player, right? We have up by Downers over on the side of MSU. We have Cynical over on the side of Edinburgh. Now, a lot of those shots, like we've mentioned before, are not necessarily, I mean, they've been wide open situations, so it's more of a breakdown of a trio of defensive players than it is like the individual amazing efforts from one player offensively to go forth and get that done.
Because we sang odes of joy to what Cynical was doing, but it was honestly just doing it with speed. We've seen this similar things done, but more with a mind game, and now you're starting to see that employed by Cynical early on. MSU has not gotten a game-opening score as of yet. The Scots have been able to do that, and that really sets the tone for how much of this has been happening, at least against the MSU back half. Got to watch out. Someone's going to be flying in. And they were able to dig that one out. I was sure a Scotsman was going to be coming through for at least the first goal.
Yeah, like the first hit, like away, I definitely could have seen that, but where the bounce away from the second touch off the backboard was coming, that's the one that really gets you. Cynical almost finds that prophetic second touch to find the first goal in this one. About a minute 15. Pass attempted. Afro down into Tank Pillow, but pass never quite gets there.
Back to the same operating standard that we were in the first game. And honestly, the first, couple of minutes or so out of the second game for Redhawks. They're definitely low on boost, at least when they're trying to move upfield. And a lot of their actions have been starting very, very deep in their own back net. See if they can be able to get something from this side wall. They will commit to. It means there's only one man left, and that's going to be Sleepy Chris. They've been very wise. They've covered that back line, keeping at least a man present so that you don't get too much confidence from out of Inborough. So 2 minutes, though, have just blitzed by Tugboat. We are seeing this game just fly on just with the clock.
That's what happens when there's not pauses for scorers and there's not that lineup yet again, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I never really anticipated like a mega high-scoring game, right? I mean, 5 scores. Ooh, cynical yet again. Interrupting my point. 3 shots, a save, and now a goal. Afro on the board with the assist. That is perfect, dude. Sidebar and NECC.
That's one of those that also had kind of a dead ball spin. As soon as he found it crossing the net, he went as far outside left that he could be able to get it, paused that ball, and just slapped it, clanked off metal. When that happens, you're going to get a nice turn, and that was a very forgiving one that ultimately got it around the whole pipeline. So already, middle mark of game number 3, both these teams have really been tied at the hip with one another. And Edinburgh would love to be able to get yet another 2-goal lead.
Of course, that was a 2-goal lead that Edinburgh would go forth and employ into a victory. That's not too high for Tank Pillow as they reach up for it, and the Guardian Angel plays. Keep this score difference at 1. MSU almost finding that one back down low. It's a hit. That's a really, really soft touch, but it's enough for the block. Up my Downers. Trying to reposition on this one, actually gets away from it, so this ball travels other side of the pitch for just a couple of seconds till Sleepy Chris, mostly a defensive player up to now, has something to say about it. It's a second hit, and Cynical barely gets it inside, or gets it outside, excuse me. Sleepy Chris on the rotation here, hits this one, chows it out to about the mid-pitch, sets it up for another player. Oh, great hit. Okay, so Up My Downers comes into this. They don't actually go for the defensive block because they can tell this ball is coming out from the inside of goal. They go for the hit, and that makes it so the Cynical cannot angle this one in exactly how they want it to be. Now, the offensive pressure is not over with yet, though, Monkey Man.
Oh, it's not at all. And in fact, we're down to a collective of just a small amount of boost. You did get the corner from out of Up My Downers, who made that very fine finesse English-style play. You can only be able to put enough zest on it before it becomes overseas. And right now, it is still just a 1-0 meal here for Edinburgh. They've seen it go late as 0 seconds and 25 seconds. Does MSU tie us again within the last half minute here of game number 3? Neither Scotsman is able to find it. They do at least get one demo that's going to thin out this counterplay. You got to be ready. Oh! Not for me at all, but this one has stayed onto the MSU back half for a long time, and they have very little boost to activate with it. A tough angle to try and grab it and get it airborne yet again. This time around, we don't hit the bonus clock. Edinburgh is able to take the series lead for the first time as we head into game number 4. That's a wild difference.
It was muted. Wow, sorry about that. I thought you were asking me for the camera. 6 shots attempted here versus that was, I believe, 12 or 13 on the other side. That's where the difference really starts to come in, Monkey Man.
That's really true. And this is something that has been slightly tilted in favor of Edinburgh, even through the first game win when it came for the Redhawks. Now is when you're starting to see MSU's slow beginnings be vulnerable. You can be fine, you can be defensive, and that's okay. But when one of your primary weapons in Up My Downers does not get themselves a shot, they had 4 at least of their goals going into this. You need them to be active and upfield. They were much more plastered, posterized to that backboard. Now, this is where the sweat fest begins, Tugboat, because MSU needs to get us all tied up, or else the Fighting Scots will be on match point.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so a shutout, 1-0 of MSU means that the first 4 scorers for MSU went all the way on to Up My Downers. Last game, no shots attempted, no goals made in, and the amount of total shots almost doubled there for the side of Edinburgh University. I have to believe this is just Edinburgh realizing what we did, and that's that, 1 minus 1 equals 0, and when you have MSU players, I'm not saying that Sleepy Chris or Cookie, the sub player that we have not seen, or Dummy Dan, are not great on the offense. I'm saying that Up My Downers has been fantastic today, and a lot of times that's just the momentum that you have to ride.
Definitely a lot of perimeter play that has enabled a lot of that, too. You're seeing the soft touches be gathered by Up My Downers, and that's where they try to at least find that little pocket of least resistance from out of the Fighting Scots. When they walk away from that, that's when things get a little bit squirrely.
Like drawing like these long flowing circles all around the ball, like 4 different players did offense, 2 on offense, 2 on defense, and nobody actually made contact with the balls. It's a funny game sometimes. It really, really is. Afro, bouncing ball, wayward hit, Chow won by Cynical. Tries to take possession over 1, actually just opts to try and bump the second, trust the teammates. Nobody really there, though.
Cynical actually steps back. That was a chaotic fake out. Trying to get everyone to just play against MSU. MSU says, sure, we'll bite. See what happens from there. Tank Pillow with the set, and there's so little boost yet again. This is another one of those things of vulnerability exposed by Edinburgh, but even so, as long as you are able to maintain some level of momentum, eventually the boost will come. They will have to retreat. They bought themselves about 5 more seconds. Flip reset out of Afro to try and get into Cynical, but it's shut down.
A great reset there, especially because defenders are generally not going to be anticipating that as you're coming all the way inside, given that you haven't gotten the reset yet. Uses pretty much the last nanoseconds that they possibly could have. Tank Pillow there, but MSU has learned their lessons about leaving this goal wide open. And that's not a lesson, that they necessarily learned off of giving off a whole bunch of empty net goals, because it's just a simple fact that they weren't taken as often on the other side. Cynical was feasting in game number 1, but that time is over, and much lower scoring games thus far. Afro, a bouncing ball to the outside, and they have no momentum behind it.
My Downers is the only one that has boost right now for all the Redhawks. They're going to try and find something up here to capitalize on early on. Cynical does, in fact, take an early step. Dummy Dan wants to get a set up to his main striker, but they're going to stay to the floor. They're going to race back, looking for the corner boost. Also looking for a chance to get Sleepy Chris involved. Setting one up. That's a free net, baby. Can they be able to have the lead tackler? They get it done. Up My Downers will be the final strike. I think I saw all 3 Redhawks commit to this one.
Yeah, so Sleepy Chris up, Dummy Dan goes for this, and though they didn't make a connection on a Cynical, no, Mahale Monkey Man, they didn't need to, right? As the skill levels increase in Rocket League, you see much less demos and even much less big hits, and more so stuff like that, they're coming in and you have to respect it. Down low, though, it's a tie game quickly after the first score. What is that, maybe 15 seconds, 13 seconds of actual game time in, and Tank Pillow dives to the bottom corner, fakes out not 1 but 2 MSU Red defenders, and they quickly squander their lead.
I feel for Sleepy Chris in that moment. He was actually in the net, and he was lined up with the ball, but he was about maybe a nose length too deep. Big defense from out of Up My Downers, sticking it right in front of Cynical. But the takeaway game is going to continue because Edinburgh, the Fighting Scots, are playing it close to the vest and right into the beaks here of the Redhawks. Up My Downers with an overextension. They will retreat back, and they have to play it off their own backboard. That is a tough thing to do. You must miss on purpose to make sure that that one doesn't go in. Oh! But Sleepy Chris!
Wowzers. Okay, so that's a way that you go forth, and the lion's share of this game number 3 is spent with Edinburgh in the lead, having struck first. MSU comes roaring back with not one but two. A flip of the script from about 30 seconds ago. Now MSU in the lead by 1.
75 seconds left. Clock right now, not exactly the biggest friend to MSU, but there's not a great friendship to have to burn with it. They just need to get rid of it. Luckily for them, it's at least a manageable state. A minute ago, we've seen these teams score sub 1 minute timers. Great fake out to make everyone pause. This one, a drop in the corner, and Afro is calling for help. Cynical steps up, and that's going to be a gap. Huge save from Tank Pillow.
Yeah, this is one of those plays that if it's the other side, if it's MSU doing that, Cynical is burying his teeth, cracking his knuckles, and getting down to feast. Not going to happen on this one, though. Little bit of pressure down low, and something tells me that is the dagger in this game number 4. Have we seen a 2-score difference yet? Like,
we had once. We had a 2-0 in game number 2.
That's right.
But this is the first time that MSU has had a two goal lead. So they get to not rest, but they have some insurance. That's always a nice thing to have, especially the late term of a game, and Cynical especially having to start defensively with only 30 seconds to go.
Great job in front of the net. They're going to have to do a lot, though, and just outside, just outside of the box, the Edinburgh player really needed to. I think this is coming off the back, Monkey Man. I mean, this isn't over with yet, but that was coming off the back of just whipping there and just trying, like, I need to get there right now instead of, like, I realize it's a pressurized situation, but you have to realize that the chronological resource, right, time that you are working with, you had a little bit of it on your side. And that right there could have been a tying factor. I'd hate to talk about what could have been. Someone once told me the regret is like tossing a stone down a well and spending the rest of your life, Monkey Man, waiting to hear it hit the ground.
Wow. That's deep. probably like the well.
Hey, there you go. There you go. That's funny. Enough philosophy. Yeah, let's talk about shots.
That's what often happens whenever you get philosophical. There's shots involved. MSU, efficient, by the way, only had 6 shots. We spoke ill of that in the previous game when they ended up losing, and it was an 11-6 differential. This time they only have 6, but they made 50% of those. Yeah. So I no longer know what to judge, at least from the offensive side of things, but it was the challenge game that they were shutting down Cynical to being a back linesman, and he had some solo efforts, and then just the defense, they feast. So we've taken 4 games off the slate. There's only a max of 3 more left to go. We go to a game number 5 that is up for anyone to take a match point. Yeah,
and the best foot forward here will obviously put the other team on match point, just simple numbers at that point. But really, I mean, even this 2-score difference at the end, finally, for MSU, this just seems like they're figuring things out just a tiny bit more, a little bit. Like, yes, it's on the rotations. Yes, it's respecting this area back and not really cheating forward once you realize that this other squad, this other D5 squad on the other side, can go forth and find those gaps. Cynical on one side, MSU Reds up my downers on the other. Cynical, yet again. So a bouncing ball, tell me if you've seen this one before here on Monkey Man. A bouncing ball goes a little bit wayward. Cynical sees a lane and just absolutely feasts.
This is also one of those where we have not seen a consistent backboard defense at the same pace that Cynical is presenting a threat. I feel like they get the second answer, and they're banking at least a high percentage of the time that Cynical might be taking a rip of a clip that is just not ready. So that one, though, just in stride. That is the threat level, the criticality that Cynical has. Look at it, maybe replicate the same thing. That was Afro trying to go for yet another.
Was that 4 touches coming from the sidewall? Insane stuff. And even gets it done the last one there with like no boost in the tank. So really capabilities to manipulate your car in midair a little bit less. MSU up my downers goes for a pass to a player that is not there, and everybody commits on the defensive side. Now that's what I want to see if you're going to commit that much. Like a really solid clear. And then here's the follow-up. Dan there, Afro realizes the danger of this one. It's not just a clear, but a pass.
Like the idea from Dan. Hold that thought for a moment as this one will go wide. But Dummy Dan had actually gone inverted up to the ball to try and get a flip reset at the very last second and maybe just get the scoop and loop, see if that would happen. But you have one little counterplay that ends up now numbing us over into the first 100 seconds of play in game number 5. Remember, for match point, for all the marbles, for a big save, they don't get credited to it, but Cynical helped out as the old Ironsides will ring the failure gong. But still, MSU has been extending this pitch very long.
Love that call. 3 minutes left into this one. Kind of a hanging ball. And yeah, that's kind of the difference between MSU. They've just had a snap-to-itiveness in their offensive that we haven't seen as much. I was praising them. I was lauding them, right? Saying, oh, hey, you know, they have great rotations in the beginning back. Well, now you need to split that a little bit more here because if you had two, like that's a perfect example right there. If you had 2 players up, this would not have been an Edinburgh University squad that was completely set up on the defensive side, and you would have had a 2-on-1. We usually know how that WAT is going to go, and now it's a 2-on-1, but defensive advantage for the side of MSU Red. Who are you passing that one to?
Somewhere. all over to the wall. Right now the algebra is showing a different linear equation. The MSU is trying to solve out a little bit faster because Edinburgh has been making it the tougher maths, the tax maths, most that I don't know how to do at the beginning of the year. 2 minutes. This is starting to feel very eerily familiar. I'm feeling game 3 style. And Edinburgh, the Scots have just not let MSU at least find pay dirt to this point.
I mean, 1 score difference, that happens all the time. A shutout of a squad like MSU, I mean, yeah, it's happened before. Well, that's getting a little bit more likely as Cynical bites down not once, but twice. Did you catch how many shots attempted that is from Cynical? 4 shots attempted, a save as well with a pair of goals. Assists raining down to the Edinburgh University partners.
Dude is part of, I mean, he's not just part of it. He's high percentage reason of success, more than likely, here for Edinburgh. Oh, man. Sleepy Chris looked like he was just on top of the world and ready to just slap some people around. So is all the rest of MSU, and even on low boost, which has been a rarity from the Fighting Scots. They're able to activate just fine. Cynical showcasing, strutting the stuff. Nice footwork from the ground. Same to be said, though, of the Redhawks. 80 seconds remaining, Tugboat. Edinburgh, it's not the safest thing, because we've seen comebacks before, but 2 goals is pretty nice to this point.
Yeah, I mean, that comeback also happened in overtime, so obviously the first step is simply tying this one up and getting it there. Well, that's going to be made a lot harder for these Redhawks. Mount Clair gets a heck of a time just putting in front of them right here, man. 63 seconds, 3 scores to go. That's 21 seconds per goal, and that's just to tie it up. But again, it's happened before when you're talking about 2 score differences. Now, there's not a massive difference between 2 and 3 score, but we have not seen a 3-score comeback yet.
Yet being the key feature.
Okay.
Yeah, being the key feature. Dropping the bucket was this, I think, about maybe 7 seconds later. Sleepy Chris, 1 little touch, and Cynical was the last man to have boost that was on the arc. Last man, that's a tough position. When you have the backboard play, when you are without boost, you're basically the equivalent of a brick falling off a building. I hope that you brought your jumping shoes.
It's a good point. And once again, the backboard defensive plays here for Edinburgh comes forth and bites them again. I mean, honestly, they should be fortunate that it didn't happen in Game 3. Fortunate that it didn't happen earlier in Game number 5, a game that they were enjoying a 3-score lead just a second ago. Now they're just trying to get this ball out of their own, or excuse me, they're trying to keep this ball in this side of the pitch. MSU, the play should be right in front of you. Take this ball, put it to a corner here to try and just get it on the other side. A lot easier said than done, though, Monkey Man.
Very much so. 20 seconds and all that previous extra time has now just bled off the clock. The tourniquet will be necessary for the Redhawks, because I don't think this one is going to be dug up. They have only seconds remaining to score with time remaining, and the key word is remaining. Luckily for them, there's a game remaining, but Edinburgh, they're going to be on match points as we head into game number 6. The Fighting Scots trying to put this one to bed.
So, all right, let me go through this with you, okay, folks? Game number 1, an overtime victory for MSU. Game number 2, an overtime victory for Cynical and the rest of Edinburgh. Game 3, a complete shutout, was something we didn't really anticipate. Well, Game 4, MSU Red, whoa, hey, a 2-score difference, 3-1 victory. Well, Edinburgh does the same exact thing in Game number 5. Round and round we go. Where we stop, I'm telling you, I do not know.
Yeah, this is I hope you have your bingo cards ready because we're filling all 4 corners at minimum. And that middle space was free because you're getting a fantastic showcase from both of these awesome programs. It feels like it's destined for a game number 7, and I'm sure all the Redhawks just shook a fist at me, cursing them into the well. But as our philosopher over here in Tugboat has said, sometimes you wait for it to come back, but there may be something bouncing at the bottom. So, can they bounce back? Do you believe in the Redhawks to do it right now?
I do, because some of the mistakes, honestly, a lot of the mistakes from Edinburgh's defense were a lot, like, the only time that MSU realized it and then acted upon it, they scored, right? Now, every other time you could tell, I mean, they're high-level Rocket League players. They realized what the mistakes were going on. They just failed to capitalize upon them. And again, that was in large part due to the MSU penchant to not go back. That should have been a goal, and it is going to be. Okay, Cynical gets credit for it, but putting it all the way over is a really, really wonky angle. Oh, it was Cynical that put it over. Okay, so Cynical is going to take credit for it and then secure it themselves.
Just had to hit every pipe, just making sure that they're getting ready for Christmas. It's the Carol of the Bells. Yeah. Off the metal, and there it goes. But again, early score. I think it might be the earliest score that we have seen so far from the Fighting Scots.
I'm pretty sure about that.
Yeah, and for MSU, we need to, did you see their shot total in the previous game? They have shot 6, 6, and 6, hitting the mark of the beast. Just to trying to get something going out there. They've got to be able to get a little bit more, I think, to really put the Scots on edge.
Don't like that, man. Don't like that. 666, 40 seconds into this one. I mean, offensive opportunities like that abound so frequently. It is honestly surprising to me that was a 3-1 score line. And a game that, honestly, until the last 40 seconds was looking at yet another shutout, right? It really, really surprising me. The quantity versus quality question does raise its ugly head at that point, right? 18 shots attempted, only 1 made in. You got to start asking it at some point. Tank Pillow now taking this down the corner, now into the paint. Tank Pillow gets a shot off and a demo. Not a shabby way to start an offense. Okay. I really hope that's not the defining factor in this game. You all saw it. Watch it again.
Heck of a shot, by the way.
Oh, man. That, dude, if this was the other side, it'd be shot of the game or shot of the match.
You know what? Up My Downers has been scoring everywhere. They can score on their own net. They just don't want to be or have that be what erases the season. Because remember, it's a single elimination. Still, it's best of 7, but you get no other chances. Good news, there is a spring, but you don't want to have to be waiting that long to have another chance at it.
Yeah, buddy, it's not even halfway through November. I'm talking about spring semester. That's got to be what these two teams have on their mentalities, right? I mean, MSU, 1 score in the past, 7.5 minutes or so of Rocket League. That's not, no, actually, yeah, and then obviously butting into game number 5. Obviously, that shutout was in game number 3. Have to get on top of this one. Offensive, physical play is one way that you can do it. Just stretching this field obviously is as well, but up or down 2-0 is not something I really feel great about. But that will be a situation that they will be forced into, whether or not they want to get into that situation. Here in about a minute and a half, right? I mean,
one of the things that's been coming up with Edinburgh, pragmatic gap coverage. A 3-0 right now is starting to feel like it's going to stretch maybe even further because the Redhawks are finding someone very timely on top of them. Every time they're about to kind of loop something upward, make a soft touch, hope that they can follow it, Edinburgh, the respect is gone. They are bearing down upon them, and they've realized speed is what is going to kill the Redhawks.
Yeah, it's the interception of passes as well. The most clear-cut example of that was the previous goal from Cynical. I mean, they get it to just about half pitch or so, right? And then just reads it perfectly. That was almost another situation right there. Tank Pill, if they'd made connection, onto the defensive player there, and you cannot block that which is not in front of you. 2 minutes to go right here. MSU hanging by a thread. 1, 2, 3 scores, and that's just to tie it up, Monkey Man. And never mind, 4.
Oh, the average right now is what, 30 seconds per goal? Or at least whatever amount of time and then something remaining, at least as long as you get 3. And that's just a free ball. You cannot let that loosely fall off the backboard or the sidewall because Afro has been very distinctly following up with whatever Cynical has laid out. MSU, this might be the curtain call. And as soon as you lay any cloth onto the cage of a bird, they often are put to sleep.
It's true. It's true. That fourth was also the first non-cynical goal made in this game number 6. Man, well, I'm looking back on the own goal earlier. Like, you can say all day long, oh, you know, like without that one, but, you know, it's a 4-score difference right now. But the intangibles, man, right? Like the motivation that goes on between the ears, right? And the mental factor that comes with a game like Rocket League, or any esport really, but definitely Rocket League with the momentum that is so intrinsically involved. That is definitely a part of this 7-game series, or best of 7 series, I should say, that my mind's eye is going back to right now.
It's definitely a moment of regret, but it's one that they got to goldfish. They've got to keep it super far away, and they'll look at it later and see maybe what could have been different. That's for VOD review for late, and it might be for now. 5-2. The Fighting Scots, with just a minute remaining, giving themselves a huge leap forward. And they've got a big chance right now to just simply run out the clock and put this entire series out.
Yeah, that's pretty much done and dusted. 20 seconds per goal. That's just a score, and you got to hit all 5. It's possible. Let's see it done here from MSU. There's the first. Oh, my goodness. I thought that was going to be a nose inside. But again, man, the Edinburgh defense just stands up.
MSU has been putting up a great fight. It's been very slow starts. I'll be interested to see how it goes. That one off the pipe, and that one at least just skims across the front face of the net. Edinburgh, full control. They have done it from end to end, and they are just hoping that this last one is a shutout. They would love to make a fat statement at the end of Game 6.
A weak offensive attempt there. I believe that was Sleepy Chris. Afro was, even with no boost, was able to read it out all the way. And yeah, I have to agree. 5 shots, now 6 inside for Edinburgh. Cynical, beyond the Texas hat trick, now on 5.
13 seconds remaining between them and a date with, now we know, St. Lawrence University waiting for the winner. So Edinburgh has taken their best shot, and they've done so with chutzpah, as they'll be taking out the Red Hawks. The pipes were calling, and they were buzzing the entire series. They got rid of the Red Hawks, and they're going to see their semester fall. But the Fighting Scots, they'll be moving on.
Yep, so 2 shutouts, one obviously done, this one done in a much, much different fashion. In the first, yeah, that was game number 3, a 1-0 shutout, which is exactly how it seemed like this whole series was going to go there, Monkey Man. Overtime, game number 1. A long overtime, if you remember, game number 2. A down-to-the-wire, game 3, 1-score differential, 1-0 shutout pitched there for the size of Edinburgh. And then MSU brings it back, but man, those last 2 games, 3-1 and then 6-0, absolutely oppressive there. And a fantastic, oppressive if you're MSU Red. That is, of course, a fantastic performance if you're Edinburgh, and the folks out of Pennsylvania are going to be real happy about that result.
Oh, they definitely will. That was a fantastic work. And then, you know, don't take it away from Montclair, because they've been able to find themselves through several seasons into playoffs. It just feels like the first round is brutal for them. It was in the spring and then the Nationals and now here into the fall. Great starts, but the beginning of each of their game was kind of slow. So we'll see them exit, but it's not without at least having a very solid fall semester. And that means the Fighting Scots, again, they're going against St. Lawrence University, and they'll be moving into that second round. And some of you could be moving into the second round, at least for your hunger pains, because you got to get with Wisconsin, baby. Maine, Wisconsin, and goes great with gaming, just like what you saw those gamers doing there. Got to give a shout out over to one of our sponsors in Winzel's Farm. Legendary Wisconsin meat sticks since 1977, maybe aged just as well. Make sure to check them out. They have 14 mouth-watering flavors, so meet your heart out. Winzel's Farm. Grab some meat sticks, baby. Come on.
Gotta love them. Gotta love them. They have some real interesting advertisements there as well. We'll have our next match set up here in a second. Before we skip to a very short break, I want to give Extron a shout out. Yes, some fantastic AV hardware. If you're in the market for it, check out their website, extron.com, to find out a little bit more. FBI Tugboat, Hail Monkey Man, back with you guys in just a little bit for the Oklahoma Christian Eagles. Yes, D1 action taking on Ole Miss. Yes, Ole Miss versus Oklahoma Christian. The Eagles, just a minute.
Always said don't suffer no fools. Serpents,
Hello and welcome back, folks. We are here and we are live. FBI Tugboat and Monkey Man. He's doing all kinds of things with his hand over there. I'm not 100% sure. There you go. We got Oklahoma Christian Eagles coming hot at you. Yes, and Ole Miss. We're up to D1 action. Previous was D5. This one's D1. Broncos Gold and Rogers State Red will be D4 next. Well, we are the cream of the crop. We have risen to the top. Yes, Oklahoma Christian, these Eagles, and Ole Miss going forth to do battle here, Monkey Man.
This is a team that has kept the same roster and is just as dangerous as they was in the previous national finals. They went all the way against, I believe it was Concord, falling to them, getting second place. Ain't bad, but this time they're aiming for first. And their first docket is to be able to get things done is Chili, G-Man, and North. MX North. I've seen that player play so much. This team is dangerous here at Tugboat. But Ole Miss is not a slouch. That is a team that it's a rise and fall of situationships. And I feel like this is not one that you can just ride off. And I'm sure the Eagles are prepped for this one.
Yeah, I mean, this is D1. This is the playoffs. I guarantee you that these are two teams that are very, very well, well accommodated with one another, not just within this competition, but within other competitions, collegiate style as well. Best of 7 coming up right here. It's the playoffs. Now, this is not going to be a single elimination, Monkey Man. Is that correct?
Yeah, this is going to be a double elimination, so we got the full bracket, and the first one for both these squads, they got each other, but right after, it's whoever wins and faces off against the Indiana Tech gang. So that's a Tech, yeah, if you're at all a connoisseur of the Orange Warriors out there. But we got Eagles, we got Ole Miss Esports, so we're going to be going into this first one here in all of a moment. I think that we're in actually a test lobby. Yeah, so we're going to be coming back into this all of a second. OC. Oklahoma Christian, they went and they fell to what, second from the bottom when it came to regular CRL, so they took that 7th place. And then going into now split number 2, this is a team that's been very consistent across the national sphere of influence. Ole Miss trying to find the stride in their current composition. We're going to see what happens here.
Yeah, it's a fair point. Just a little bit more of an established kind of resume in that top competition than CRL and whatnot coming into this one, and have done it for a couple of seasons now. A lot of corner play so far. These Rocket League players playing pool for right now. Got to get it in the middle to find that payload, though. 30 seconds to go here. See money. Gets it over 1. Second player is always there. That is the OC Eagles mantra, though. Yeah, their rotations are crisp. They're in D1 for a reason.
This is also a team, when you look at Ole Miss, C-Money has been around the old bend a long time. Same with Stealth. But it's going to be Burson that's really going to be my kind of eye in the sky. I want to see how they activate, because Stealth has been trying to do things not just from the collegiate sphere, but from the pro side. But MX North, I remember watching this player when they originally were still on a PlayStation 4. And now that they've been able to upgrade over the last several years, well, they've been hot.
That's fantastic. Yeah, North, Chili, G-Man all participated in a competition with the USA that was put on recently, the Combat Cup stuff, where we like draft players and stuff. So they all actually played against each other. Oh my goodness, North! That's dirty. That's just dirty. That's disrespectful.
Sometimes you don't have to do too much. Just wait and let them do it for you.
Oh. 2-0 here and early for the OC Eagles, flying high as of right now. These running Rebels have definitely got it done on the ground, but to keep with the theme, the OC Eagles have just been flying high, spreading those wings, and finding a lot of value across the ceiling, across the air.
Ooh, waiting on the power flick. G-Man actually delayed, hoping that maybe the defender would come out, bonk it off of their hood. One thing that hasn't happened as of yet for Ole Miss, this is game number 1, still trying to get general strides in order, is that they haven't been able to find at least passing plays. Now, it's OC that has been capitalizing on making the user do all the work for them from the side of Ole Miss. These land sharks as they are. G-Man with a drop down. That's 2 committing. UCC money across the pitch. They were trying to win the 2v2 way upfield while the third man was just nowhere to be seen.
Spicy opportunity. That's almost an own goal and is an uncharacteristic move made here by these Eagles. North just can't get out of the way in time. G-Man gives it his best effort, but yes, that is one of the, that's one of the problems from coming off a back wall and just Too many cooks in the kitchen, just hanging out a little bit too long out there. G-Man pulls off the push there to go side corner, or side and in. That's with boost. That's set up. Stealth, though, gets that out from the source of danger, at least for a little while.
You're going to see them own goal. You're going to see them do it with style. So far, every goal has been scored, in fact, by OC. So Ole Miss still looking for their first
true.
one, even though they've split the difference at minimum. Halfway mark of game number 1 here, Tugboat. And, you know, we've elevated. Everyone looks like a cynical out here. Everyone is acting with absolute pace. And even when they collide with each other, you see Chile and North finding themselves corroborating in their opponent's corner. It's still done so quickly, it doesn't really punish them at this level.
Chile whips around quickly, kind of faking them going back and trying to maintain possession and not really try to get aggressive early onto that drive, but it was a great play. It resulted in them maintaining this possession here. G-Man from the corner doesn't quite have enough boost to get there, and that ball is just a little bit too high.
Less than 2 minutes to go. It feels like chunks of 30 and 40 seconds take a while to just kind of come off the clock. And when they do, it's in these massive sets of strategy. And when these teams are just finding themselves pinning the other back. North, a lot of boost in the tank. They're going for a drop in. They actually had activated with G-Man, trying to get a bump onto the final third man. Less than 100 seconds. And Ole Miss, I mean, this is a slow trot. They've had to deal with whatever the Eagles are leaving behind. After the first minute was them really extending this field. Now they're retroactive, seeing what happens thereafter. North, the back pass, that's an open gap, and that'll be a tying goal.
Another uncharacteristic move here from the OC Eagles. An own goal and just completely abandoning this back post. Yeah, I mean, and most OC Eagles plays, Stealth would be, or excuse me, Chile in that position would be playing a little bit farther back and probably be able to get under this ball and just tip it just high enough, right? Even if it hits top bar and out, that's, you know, exactly what really the doctor ordered there. Back to it, down low, and Chile not going to be denied on the offensive side. North gets a great hit onto this one, and G-Man, I mean, this is a pass that never really looked like it.
One of those where you're finding them quickly come to the opposite side of the net. They have to navigate so fast because those avenues, those gates are going to be just ramrod shut tight. But this quick collective possession play as they give up on the fake from the initial kickoff, and then they find it moving upfield, forces Ole Miss to have to take a stutter step backwards now. This is a set right over from Stealth back to their teammate. Now a double commit will find it offline. That will thin out their overall presence, and they can't quite find a possession. That clears the way. Eagles might be able to just bear this one to the post, but they will at least find C-money at defensive standard. 40 seconds to go here, Tugboat. Eagles are just going to try and pour it on for this entire last half minute.
I'm not against it. I mean, if this was a 3-1 or, you know, even the 3-0, obviously, like the shutout up to this point, then it's more so just to keep away a game. But not. This is more so we need to put another one in here because another wayward ball like it happened earlier. I mean, the Rocket League gods show their heads every once in a while, folks. That's not centered, and they're going to be really glad that it wasn't because there's still a little bit of life here for this Ole Miss squad. A rolling wayward ball, and North shuts down the dreams of Ole Miss in game number 1.
Heck of an effort. I think that was G-Man that went flying by. They just kind of kept it crawling. North never left the box, seeing if anything would come back, and eventually they find exactly what we're calling out. One last one, an insurance ball, and a way to force Ole Miss to not be able to reach any kind of threats late term. The clock is going to strike 0, and it's going to be a 1-0 here, starting off for the Eagles. Bless yous in the chat. Everyone put up your crosses because this one's going over to OC.
I was able to mute it on the vMix in time, not on Discord, so they didn't get assalted with that.
Oh,
Sorry
no.
about that.
It's
Sorry
okay.
about that. I just kept that for Monkey Man and Prod.
That was
yeah,
for me.
so wayward
Thank you.
sneeze, middle of cast. Yeah, that's a killer, folks. OC Eagles winning this one 4-2. Game number 1. In a game that, you know, a lot of times we say, oh, you know, the scoreline not indicative, you know, is a lot closer. I'm not trying to talk any smack early in a best of 7, but Ole Miss, this kind of feel like a game that was even further away than its ending score line. North just having all the room with which to work a hat trick in game number 1.
Yeah, this is a couple of teams that definitely have seen their seasons be, hither, thither, and yon. There's been differences of how they've had to play. Ole Miss came into this at 4-3, 21-18, by the way. That's a deep amount of games. That's what, 39 games? If I do the fastest math in the West, I think that is just short. Kennesaw State Premier had to play 40 games, so the second most out of everyone out there. So I say that Indiana Tech went and did 41. Either way. They know how to play deep into this. Yeah, just a little bit. But OCE 28-14, they're solid. They're just taking care of business, making sure that this all goes swimmingly. The problem that I'm going to see is that if we don't see an ounce of control from out of Ole Miss, you're going to see OC turn it up because 2 goals were given away. I need to see one that is real out of the Rebels.
Yes, like an offensive drive and possession that they have. You can see that it's drawn up, physical plays, however they, if it's a quick transition, defenders aren't there, or a physical play if they are, that they go forth and earn, right? Well, that is G-Man here in early. We talked about possession and whatnot. This is technically on the other side, but this is going to be Chile, comes up the corner, and everybody else from the OC Eagles is in position. There's the acceptance of pass, and ball just immediately comes on down. And this is really what we're talking about. Also, that was never like an intentional shot. What that was just a move to keep possession away from this Ole Miss squad again. And now they have a single defender back. Okay, so they got a little bit of effort there after the pass doesn't quite hit where they want it to be.
And you're seeing the Eagles treat this back cage like monkey bars. This is a day at the playground right now. That was a fantastic move. That should be a score, and it will be. Stealth. The follow-up. They had a man in his back pocket, making sure they get it with that little bit of a dominance touch. And C-Money, I mean, that one was going to be anyone's from Ole Miss. That one move put him on ice.
There you go. See, this is what we're talking about. A quick transition to immediately, bang, get on the other side, put pressure on. Okay, off of kickoff. Ole Miss heard what I said about I felt like this wasn't even as close as a 4-2. They took that personally.
Insert MichaelJordan.jpg. All right.
Oh, yeah.
But this is also the Ole Miss that was trying to be this Ole Miss in game number 1. If they can catch a sitting, if they can catch a looking and the hands under your butt, then they're going to be able to capitalize on you. Does it happen all the time? OC is not starting slow, but they do really mechanize to get these passes around this pitch, and especially to one another. Ole Miss is able to do it kind of individually at times. G-Man wants to do it himself. You're seeing Ole Miss in their grill right now, making life very difficult.
Yeah, they're certainly spinning fancy opportunities in the front, and Ole Miss just isn't really like biting as much. It's just plays like that, right? They come up for it. Oh, well, where are they putting it? Are they going to try and hit against the wall, get it back themselves and score? Are they going to try and pass to somebody? Okay, don't worry about that question, right? Go where the ball happens to be right now. Like the exact opposite of the, don't go where the ball is at, go where it's going, right? Exact opposite of that. Go exactly where that ball is at. Stop that play and keep this from like hemorrhaging into anything bigger than it already has to be, which is just a wayward ball and a player desperately looking for a place to put it.
Still low for right now. Ole Miss looking very strong. G-Man has opened up a lot of those chances. I feel like that they are definitely kind of that main reason why this team feels so confident. Oh, this is a freebie for all intents and purposes. They had to send 2 to cover both gaps. G-Man does come up with a lot, at least, of wayward lines that Ole Miss is now just trying to at least pin the Eagles back and burn some precious time. C-Money might actually have an extra effort alongside their teammate to just move that one upfield. And so far, we are burning a lot of time with OC not taking a lot of threats on net. Thought that one was going to come down for Chile.
Yeah, I'm seeing G-Man was the only OC player with even a shot on the board, an assist to boot right there. Okay, so North's got a shot attempted as well. Obviously nothing made in, and Ole Miss still going after this one, still possessing ball, and still not really giving the OC Eagles squad much room with which to work. The issues earlier in not stretching the field, not covering this one defensively, seem to have been answered here for this Ole Miss squad.
Double commit, G-Man. Oh, G-Man thought he had a freebie catch off of his fender. Instead, a defender from out of Ole Miss came through, and I think that was in the form of Stealth. Stealth knows that they must be quick. This is the only way that this team will find pay dirt. They need to continue to just ramp up pace, and it's going to become very difficult to maintain, an exhausting way to play. But if you are in a dominance as Stealth is, well, you're going to have to do it. Chili, though, going 5 LR. Great midfield passing play to cut this lead in half.
Nicely done. Nicely done. And this is kind of a little bit what we were talking about earlier, like a methodical play that is drawn up that you can see intention with scoring. That's exactly what happens. A transition comes in, Ole Miss tries to just dash back to the defensive capability, and something that they can get this stop doesn't happen. Pass hits pay dirt. 1 score difference. 80 seconds to go. OC Eagles has been in this situation before, and really 80 seconds is not that long for either of these squads just to find one.
Got to be careful, though, if you're Ole Miss. This is also kind of an attitude-driven style of team. Seeing it from across their roster, and if OC gets up onto this 2-0, especially after it was beginning of a 2-0, then they're going to start feeling that one hurt a little bit more. Takeaway, C-Money. That's a demo! It was a double demo. Stealth got after bursting, he was able to get the other one, and suddenly we are tied.
Yeah, and if you'll remember, folks, Ole Miss, so OC came on the previous play, the same corner, in that same right-hand corner, came up, got a demo. Ole Miss immediately gets the demo. What do they do on the other side right there? They bite onto it again, so Ole Miss is really Okay, I was going to say Ole Miss is really playing the OC Eagles game, right? Kind of baiting them into that one and making them take demos that ultimately don't matter for the offensive play you've drawn up.
See if they can continue to kind of bait and switch a few different times. Smoke screen them, make life difficult. G-Man will not be neutralized. In fact, wins a couple of key touches. They overextend at least one man. Ole Miss presenting a presence out in midfield. It's all over ruse, though. We're playing long bomb ball. 20 seconds. Whoever blinks first here, Tugboat, might be the one that makes the worst mistake. Stealth puts it up high. Chili will commit. He takes it off the top of Stealth. They will have a back man. Double commit. It's bouncing. If they hadn't double commit, they might have had one extra shot. G-Man is going to prep it for somebody. Chili will come up. They've got North right behind him, but it's a counter play. Look at all 3. They're going to try and keep this one to the back wall. North has to keep it down, and they will do just enough to send us to OT.
Well, yeah, that literally looked like it could have been a 3-2 either way, my friend. Ole Miss off the kickoff, though, wins a big one here to the skies. Burson goes. A player we haven't talked about as much, been more playing that middling role, right? Like that passing play, the more I'll be a secondary defender if you miss. Down low, bouncing ball, back the other way. North, perfect positioning to play this one out, not allow any cross-pitch goals. Wayward sent from the other way. Burson takes it from the corner, evaluates his options. G-Man's got all the boost with which to work, so does Chili. Easy cut from under, and a second hit to send this one back down towards the middle pitch. C-Money, better position, though. Down low, and you are too slow. Stealth gets right behind you. A hat trick in overtime, plus 37 seconds, and Ole Miss ties up this series.
Saw North deep in his own net, paused laterally. He had no ability to get up into no man's land. And then that last strike was personal. We're going to be seeing this one probably go over to a server reset. Yep. So, cut away from all of the separate stats. The one that matters is that we go to a best of 5 right now. And that should have been like a nice little, there's a whoop, like animation. It's just my face.
I like it.
Yeah.
But like peeking through, like the opposite of That's All, folks,
It's instead of the close, yeah.
There's a lot more. And then, yeah. Okay.
Oh my. So, okay. Stealth was on one. And I felt like Stealth needs to be on one like almost all the time for this team to have their greatest strength, which is devil may care. Go out there. We already had one other, series where people were getting 6 shots, 3, match games in a row. Release the beast. He's been summoned. It's got to be Stealth.
I have to agree with you. Yeah, just talking about these bursts and Stealth. C-Money so far been playing on the Ole Miss side. Differences I talked a little bit about this. Burson just really seems like they do a great job, not saying that they're not a good defender, not saying they're not a good offender, but do a great job of allowing their teammates to go forth and create success on either side of this pitch, right? Plenty of options. Obviously, Stealth really, really getting it done on that previous one, and that's why I want to see. If you're OC Christian, right, if you're the OC Eagles here, writing is on the wall. Stealth is very clear-cut. Hat trick, right, culminating in overtime, is your clear-cut offender, and if you can shut down this player, you're gonna turn what would be goals and otherwise possessions going back the other way. I also want to give a huge shout out Lunar's mom there in chat. We love the parental support of our players coming in collegiate style here for the NECC, and what a better time to do it than the playoffs, right?
Very cool. Yeah, I always love to be able to see not just program support, but family support, friends. Make sure if you're out there and if you're with us on the chat, and if you're just having a great time, just send out some love. Ramen Dragon, for once, we're not getting sweeps, so haha to you. It's playoff time. No sweeps out here. If you want to give some anti-love, make sure to curse the dragon, knives and dragon emotes, all that you can. But no, really, that's been one of the greatest strengths of seeing collegiate esports, is seeing the people show up in droves. It's the collegiate vibe, and that's what we want. Well, both these teams are going to want to make their way and progress through this series. Let's go to game number 3. 5 minutes on the clock.
Wow, Zers. G-Man is going to have to clear that one with the FAA next time, Monkey Man.
This is like me trying to fly a drone, but it's done well. G-Man.
But, the exact opposite.
Yeah. See, another player to kind of keynote onto, and I'd said it before, C-Money really opened up gaps, I believe, that Stealth capitalized on, and he's already on it here, and that's exactly why they have to go slap him in the face. They let those two start being a dynamic duo, and this is an even more dangerous squad. Oh!
Getting auditory reactions out of here. 30 seconds. Stealth, okay, that's a decent job to maintain possession. That's a decently centered ball. There's nobody back! C-Money cashes it on that one.
It's exactly what you cannot let happen, not only because you get both defenders onto the same wall, it simplifies the method by which Stealth needs to go. They go fast, they wall dash, they get at least one man to crash into, and it sets up an easy go-ahead. So first half minute of play here, Tugboat has been anything short of slow, and OC Eagles starting to feel maybe that they're on the shortfall of this.
I mean, I gotta agree with you. I loved what Ole Miss was doing in game number 2, and they've done a pretty darn good job of recreating it. Yes, we have a small sample size, only 60 seconds so far, but at this point, if you will remember, it was right at 4 minutes that this OC Christian squad, or OC Eagle squad, excuse me. Oh, no way. No.
Div 1.
D1 BT dub. Hey folks, I'll let you guess. How many clear-cut definitive own goals did we see in the D5 matchup across 6 full games? I'll let you guess. Well, the answer was 0. Is that actually 3 so far? Clearly 3?
No. Hold that thought. We did get one out of Up My Downers. Remember that amazing goal?
No, you're 100% right.
We got one.
Right.
But it has been
6 games,
2 or 3
6 games.
in this. Yeah.
Wow.
They're just going so fast. Eventually something's going to go through. This one I didn't think would make it around the bend.
Now there's a D5 play right there. Right?
Yeah,
just rolling around. Player in the middle looks a little bit lost. I mean, and I'm not really not trying to. Okay, C-Money.
No.
Say anything negative right here. Obviously you are an absolutely good player, and we just saw what you were capable of doing. But it is really we're talking about it. We're maybe making light of it because it seems a little bit questionable. Maybe it just seems really, I think this is what it is. Okay, that both of these teams are being forced to play at such an insane pace of play because each team has found value from turning up that knob to 11 and ripping it off and throwing it out the window and just going fast as you possibly can, still getting there, and then finding value on the backside. But it really is kind of a little bit funny, folks, that these are some of the best CR teams that we have, and we have an actual handful of own goals so far.
So what's that whole rule where layman's, they see pro players do amazing things and they're like, I can do that. That's kind of like the same statements that we know all about. Stealth with a ripper, showing the pro side right there. That was a hot shot. You see North late on their approach. G-Man was already crunched up, and that isolated Chili, well, that was just free airspace. So much of the Eagles were grounded in that moment.
And that's going to be one of those situations where G-Man's going to be kicking themselves afterwards, right? Goes for the big boost instead of just picking up, goes for the dollar when he just needed a few dimes, right? And because of that is, I'm going to say, a half a car length away from being able to make a play on that ball on the defensive side. Halftime now, couldn't be surprised. Ole Miss ahead by 1. If you'd have told me that after game number 1, I'd say you get your head checked out.
And we've also got, I think, the same amount of goals that we had in all of the previous game. So already collecting in earnest, trying to collect another person. They get one. They double up this lead.
You know, it's funny. I was talking about how Burson's been playing that middling role. Well, how about 1 shot, 1 goal, 100% efficiency, FBI Tugboat, if that is your real name. 4-2 lead, excuse me, for Ole Miss. Now, there's plenty of time left, and OC did get both of their goals within the first, within the same, 15 seconds or so. And the second one was, really, really easy, just kind of playing with their food level. But, and so this isn't, done with by any means, but definitely a higher scoring game that's resulted in play that at least one of these casters could not really have predicted.
It's also one of those moments where, all right, do we start seeing an oversimplification like we did before?
Yeah.
Much of this early game was definitely go fast, go quick. We know how to wave dash. Let's just make it fast. Okay. Well, then they started getting a little bit of trickeration after some mistakes were committed. 6 goals is such a misnomer at times, especially between teams of this caliber. Now, with a great 2-on-1, North is going to try and control this one, but it's stealth again, disrespecting the space gained by the Eagles. And that's just, well, one that C-Money might want back. That same post has done him wrong, apparently.
Yeah, the double tap right there. What is this, Zombieland? I don't know. 70 seconds to go right here. OC Eagles going to be feeling the pressure, Monkey Man.
This team has fought a deep series before, but remember, we've only gone through, a couple games now, almost entirety of this one. It should waterfall down. Good defense. Not letting that one trickle all the way down to the goal line. Ole Miss just needs this one to expire. Eagles need something. Oh, G-Man wants it back. That one, he picked the pocket, reached over the shoulder, found a way through. But they've got to find something with just time on.
Ooh, shot, but again, man, I'll say this. Ole Miss has done a great job of simply putting their bodies in these middle lanes where they know that if this ball is put down, they can hit it. No, it may not be some insane clear, but the way that the OC Eagles offense has been posturing themselves up here, they know that they're not going to be able to get onto it. And then another Ole Miss player can then go forth, take possession of this ball, and put it back down the other way. You talked about back to basics Rocket League. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Basic stats and math about this one. Doesn't matter if this one goes in 0 seconds, and that's just funny goals. But Ole Miss, they established the line, and they didn't draw it in the sand. They carved it into stone, and they did not let the Eagles be able to move across it. They take this one 2-1. We're going to go to game number 4, Tugboat, and I got to wonder what the makeup and the identity of these two teams is going to be down the line. 13 shots to 7.
7? Yeah. Wow. Wow. So quality, quantity question comes into play, but now it's my turn to talk about Ole Miss when I say this 4-3 ending line is nowhere near indicative of how close this was, because it wasn't particularly close. It was the last second goal, and it was OC Esports that scored once and then took advantage of the kickoff to score again. Without that one, if this was just somehow like a goal and they didn't get a kickoff right there, I'm pretty sure this game ends 4-1, if not more the other way, because OC would have dedicated all of the resources, right, in the last 30 seconds or so to just put ball on net, because a loss of 4, loss of 1, loss by 11, it doesn't matter. Interesting stuff, the way that this is shaping up. 2-1 lead here for the SEC squad, Ole Miss.
This will be a huge gain for them because they feel like they had put maybe their best foot forward, or maybe at least an experimental one when they were trying for the CRL side of things, ended up with only a point. It was a very brutal concept for when they did all those splits, all those opens. For NECC, they got in with a couple of squads that were at 4 and 3. So they've definitely taken their lumps. OC has had some now national push, pressure, and presence over the last year and a half. This is a major threat. Game number 4 is going to show experience and veteranship. Who's going to show it the most?
It's another question that definitely needs answering, my friend. And for any fans of Ole Miss, if the reverse sweep happens, or not the reverse sweep, the comeback happens, excuse me. OC fans, if things continue to go the way they are, Terry Knott, again, double elimination in that one. Double tap attempted, excuse me. There for North. It's going to be the OC Eagles offense at least a little bit early as Stealth just completely cuts that pass in half. Now possession to Ole Miss, at least for a couple of seconds. That's real dangerous. OC. Man, these Eagles are taking really wonky angles at this one, and I'm not just talking about this game so far.
Yeah, that's as flat as an angle as you can get because they are pausing the ball as deep as they can into that ladder zone. Oh, North was not on the uptick. He didn't have enough boost because they wanted to send it right back to him and see if they could be able to make a bunch of Ole Miss defenders bite. This is a chance they're going to tackle through. Fantastic read. Ole Miss's defense has found a lot where there's been so little on the back line. What a cheeky English move, my goodness. He caught it right on the back of his hood.
Yeah, dude, if that ball was a little bit faster, we would have seen our first goal so far. But yeah, that previous play was the one you were talking about. Is a fantastic example of just putting your car right there. They don't know if you have zero boost and can't actually take it to the skies to beat this one out, and they're still going to respect you as a defender. On the backside, postured and in position. 90 seconds eclipsed, a little bit past that. Members of OC Eagles trying to get in the offensive side. Yeah, you had an OC Eagles like literally on the other corner boost as this play is unfolding. Like, look, is that G-Man? Yeah, that was G-Man, like all the way out there, and you got 3-on-2.
For all of the survival that Ole Miss had to kind of deal with for the last, minute and a half? Eagles, I mean, they never got themselves a sure shot. North has maybe one of the better opportunities, and they're always looking for something to leak, just to go to the back door, see if they can capitalize off of a mistake. But Ole Miss has, as exhaustingly so, found themselves at least in those few moments right man to man. They have not had to play just kind of these floundering zones, and they're matching pace. G-Man will get bonked from the other side. That is a freebie. They give him so much respect. North did not think they would miss that.
Oh, and another one. And again, G-Man continues the progression up this ball to the left side. They were not in a position to take that from the left side. Got to get forth, get into this one. Middle ball, and Ole Miss skies it. Yet again, speaking of stealth, we know what they can do. Nobody's in the corner to pick this up. Nobody. Oh, man, I was going to say nobody really needs to be, but Ole Miss playing with a player back. They should have an opportunity to bring this one back out.
Huge clear. Chile has to go and, well, that's going to be North at least on first threat, but it's definitely going to be Chile that's going to be the next major pickup to at least bunk it away. But this is giving away possession to Ole Miss, and they know so. C-Money will pick up from this corner, but they ended up kind of running it out in a long arc. Bit off tenor. Oh. That's on target. Ooh. They were not prepared for G-Man to make that jump.
Chile. Well, this is where we get the front row seat to it, but it's going to be G-Man getting in. So a little bit of redemption off the Ole Miss goal earlier. In this position that was played. 2 minutes to go right here in a tied game. Ole Miss going to be fighting for this one to try and put OC on a match point. Down low, nicely done. I got to say, dude, it's not the issue of the OC Eagles to come forth and string goals together. This is off the back, obviously, of the initial, eventual play that they get, but they just play great off of kickoff. There's no denying it.
Yeah, not at all. And G-Man and Chile. G-Man and Chile. What am I saying? G-Man and Chile. The quick trust to also have a quick strike, very acutely aware that they cannot allow or afford any time to Ole Miss. They need to consistently be bearing down upon them, and now you're starting to finally witness the fruits of their labors as they push the Rebels back over and over and over again. Eagles looking like they were just missing everything by the most tenuous of angles. This time around, it's starting to manifest into big things. Oh.
Cheeky backflip attempted for the goal right there. Didn't end up finding it, but the OC Eagles snap offense where they get one and then get off onto kickoff. That kickoff advantage, I'd say, would only really last about 8 seconds or whatever drive they accumulate from that kickoff position. Oh, man. G-Man splitting time and space to try and get to the bottom right-hand corner. Just not quick enough.
45 seconds. still there's time for Ole Miss. They've been able to do it before, and it's going to really require these two to be huge. Off the 45, but no, that goes outwards. They were hoping that would be a bit more of an interior angle. North has been a bit quiet since the first couple of games. A lot of reliance right now between G-Man and Chili. Chili will be at this midfield line. C-Money decides that he has to fill the gap because this is starting to be big 50-50s. One in favor of Ole Miss. G-Man, oh my lord. Was that off the spoiler?
Hold up. Okay, so he comes in at this one. He knows that they're going to be able to hit it. I got packed. Okay. I missed it. It kind of lagged right there. Did you?
I did. Yeah. Same thing. Yeah.
Okay. I was trying to see how this one actually happened because it kind of looked like what happened was that they realized that the defender was going to be able to get a bear tap onto this and then actually hit it in a way that normally would have exculpated this ball away from goal, but given the previous. No point in talking about it. We'll look in replays or something like that. A wayward ball, and still G-Man going to be able to get on top of this one. A couple of seconds ticking away, but this will be game number 4 for the OC Eagles. And this is finally a scoreline that feels like it was more indicative of how the game went.
Yeah, this one, well, I mean, yeah, painted as clear as day right there. Yeah, 10-2 in terms of shot output, and that was poured on top by the Eagles. It just felt like a lot of their early shots was sequestered to very close proximity situations, and so like, oh, they're not scoring. This is a little bit wayward. Well, G-Man went and got a hattie. A couple of them assisted, and this is a team that just wasn't really letting a lot of looks occur by Ole Miss, and that's what they have to do. They have to just make that window just very, very tiny. see if they can limit the overall avenue for Stealth and company to even get upfield. But that's also kind of what was happening by Ole Miss to OC. But now we go to a Game 5, very similar to what we had in our previous Div 5 matchup.
Exactly is. The playoffs simply bring out the best in everybody, Hail Monkey Man. It's a verifiable fact. D5, this one D1. I feel certain that the D4 matchup, Broncos Gold and Rogers State Red, will be the same way. Game 5, and this feels like it's going to be a major pin in the story that is this postseason matchup between these two teams. A little bit of wonkiness, and Ole Miss strikes first, a fast roller down low.
This is what they need to do over and again. Stealth banks off of chaos. He's done it so many separate times. That's what that dominance is meant to do. It's made to make you wonder what's happening next. C-Money filling the gap, and that is a very early goal. First 10 seconds. Person would love to do it again. Literally no one's home. Oh my goodness, what a save! And he comes back through. Stealth will get theirs.
Nicely done. Nicely done. This was set up, purchased, and paid for by Burson. It was just going to be a Stealthy picked up the package. But still, hey, team-based game and a 2-score lead here really, really early for your running Rebel squad. Fantastic stuff.
So far, so good if you want to have a high-scoring situation, but it's all Rebels at this point in time. G-Man loved that he disguised and kept that flip, but he just used it a little bit early enough for C-Money to see that telegraph. Chili trying to take on 2. It's a double commit. North in an awkward position. In fact, he's going to be caught lacking. Chili was hoping to find that in transition, and great patience from out of the defense right now.
Yeah, gotta agree with you. If there's one thing you have to be on defense, it has to be patient. You can't go forth. I mean, how many times has this happened? Oh my goodness, a double commit onto offense or onto defense, but it was necessary. And then balls just kind of left there for a second because everybody's made an attempt. Nobody's in position. Another one, G-Man. How do they get these attempts out of nowhere?
I don't know. This is something I don't think I can even jump high enough to hit the top side of my doorway. These guys are making sure to preserve just a 12er in boost to get to the top side of their crossbar. So making it work, and Ole Miss knowing that they can frustrate the Eagles. I mean, they're dishing out what they received here, Tugboat. 2 shots the entirety of that previous game. They got to feel like business is just not done.
I can agree with you. I mean, the way that, the game started so early at 2-0, like if you're Ole Miss, you've been enjoying this lead for a little while. Oh, that's another one. Yes, Stealth gets it in. Second shot, an assist and a save. That is 100% goal participation for your boy Stealth.
Stealth is everywhere, and this is what was missing last time. Stealth wants to be able to have these breakout moments, fill in where his teammates have definitely put in the extra effort and work. Person's done it, C-Money's done it. This team is really starting to look like a team. It was a bunch of individualists capitalizing on gaps. But those gaps don't get created by themselves. Good follow-up, though. Eagles looking like they're soaring together as they finally get one.
Yeah, nicely done. This, if you're an OC Eagles fan, you have to feel like this is a little bit long time coming. And honestly, a great job from the third player there coming forth and getting involved with stealth. I mean, even if you put your body there and force them to have to go through it first, what they're not doing is blocking. Ball away, it's passed there. This is going to land. Yeah, I was going to say, this is going to land dangerously in front of this goal until Ole Miss has something to say about it. Now a quick transition. And Ole Miss only has, or excuse me, OC only has 2 players back.
That was a heck of a squishy save. Now North from the ceiling, hoping for that shot, and Chile has been on the money, at least at this point. Well, C-Money is on the way. Stealth with a setup, trying to just keep it to disguise as long as they can. I feel like we've been going, it's 90 miles an hour right now, Tugboat. 2.5 minutes, though, as the clock has not kept up with physics. This is a heater. Chile on the pre-flip with a set, the G-Man, as quick as that. You see the Eagles attempting to put one on, but just the same pace. Ole Miss is denying it man-to-man.
Oh! And when they're boiling down, there you go. North looked like they were going to have a second attempt on top of this one. G-Man whips it around here and tries to get it back down the other way. It's a wayward ball picked up by Chile, pass to G-Man, and this defense was waiting for that one. I love the passing plays, but when you see a defender so clearly lined up to block against the player who does not currently have ball, you just have to take that in yourselves, man.
Oh, and now trying to get cheeky, they slowed down and they turned it in. I think it was North, or maybe it was Chile, that was hoping to get around a defender and then just bumping into the nose. One little win, even if it's all for possession, somehow the demo comes through from out of burst, and I thought that they weren't up to supersonic, but they still get that demo. 90 seconds. 2 goals is a reasonable idea. They've got to score very soon, hoping to get it crisscrossed. That was such a stinky layer of extra players to have to figure out who was going to make that next touch.
Yeah, it's a tough one, but got it figured out through there. 70 seconds to go or so. OC down by 2, waiting for the boost and finally getting it there. G-Man was. I think they anticipated G-Man having less boost than they really had. May not even seen that big dollar pop up under him and immediately go away as he picked it up. Down low, that's inside. North finally going to get south with this one. 6th shot attempted, Monkey Man. 6th. Do we have 6 shots across Ole Miss's whole team?
They might. They've been very efficient where they've needed to be. They've also just had a lot of bearing down upon them. Ton of goals, or rather a ton of opportunities. But Eagles seeing that window close. Remember, this is for match point. This is a free net.
Oh,
and suddenly it's all gone wrong for Oklahoma Christian.
Yeah, I mean, I quick counted as well. There's 4 shots, counting that one, folks, between 2 of these Ole Miss players, but it is a quantity question that rules the day over quantity, right? You can put up as many as you want. That's just going to rack up my defensive save numbers for the end score. 40 seconds to go right here. OC does not have a lot of time to play with.
Got to be able to bring this one back. You see how North is already trying to abuse C-Money into the back net. Chile is being met in the field of battle. And as long as they make a connection with this ball, it's going to be difficult for Eagles to do much of anything, especially as they are now burning time. Stealth is going to collect this one. He's going to keep it upwards. That is so smart, and this is exactly what you need out of veteran players. 15 seconds. Eagles might be seeing themselves go down, and Ole Miss Rebels, they're on the rise, looking the right way. They're going to be unlocking match point as long as a score does not happen with seconds remaining. They've got one. They've got a chance.
Okay, Monkey Man, so you're saying there's a chance, right? What we mean by this, of course, anybody who's not super familiar with Rocket League, there will be a kickoff here, and the clock will not start until the first connection is made onto this ball. Now, if it's hitting against, like way up, hitting against the ceiling, then back down, this ball will be dead. It's to the corner. That's still alive. G-Man gets it even higher here, so a little bit of opportunity, a big pop play there from Chile. Stealth respecting it and playing this one to the tee. G-Man tries to take it down low. Not gonna happen. Ole Miss firing back in game number 5.
Ole Miss looking for a chance to really bring the upset, and let's talk about it. There is
Oh
17 shots from out of the Eagles. Now, granted, they only had 2 from out of Ole Miss in the previous game. They did bring up 8, but I mean, you're more than doubled up on by the Eagles. But that defense, you've got the double savior medal from out of C Money with 6. I believe in total they had 11 saves. So they're just throwing everything they possibly can. It goes from small ball to quick ball, and it's being read very well by Ole Miss.
Yeah, and the problem with this, Monkey Man, is that when you just get this, like, put a shot against the backboard, if it goes, it goes. If it's pressuring the defense, I always say that's never really like a bad thing. But where the bad thing comes in is when a shot that was never going to go in turns into a possession back the other way. And that's what we saw at least one of those times in a game that came down to a 0-0-1 second goal to force a one-score differential, right? That means that this very, very easily could have gone down to an overtime type situation.
So it's going to be bonus time that we rely on, or are we going to see this one end in regulation? OC, they need 2 games in a row. For Ole Miss, they just need 1. A game 6 is forthcoming no matter what. So, hey, if you can be able to shove what was last season's, last semester's, the academic year's runner-up on the national level down into the lowers, I would say that's a pretty cool thing. Ole Miss has a chance to do exactly that. Eagles, they got a buck back.
I would agree with that. That would be, man, not just a feather in the cap. That would be something that I'd be quoting for a very long time, even beyond perhaps my collegiate esports career. 20 seconds on into this one. Stealth going to be facing in the early demo against Chile as the OC Eagles, all 3 of them, try and get into the offensive stance. Stealth comes back from the demo, says, "Hey, did you miss me?" and immediately hits this one and throws a wrench into the best laid plans of the OC Eagles.
Person is trying to simplify the game, by the way. There's, out of all 3 that we've seen from Ole Miss, you definitely get Stealth and C Money trying to be the quickest and most quirky. Person has just been finding very fundamental gaps that the Eagles kind of activate away from. And when they do, it slows all of OC down. Oh, Stealth has plenty of boost. Chile with a chance, but Stealth had one better.
Yeah. Coming out the night, Stealth does a dagger to the heart of the OC squad's offensive efforts here early. 1 minute and 3 seconds in. This is now 1, 2, 3. Yeah, because they got it. Yeah, because they got it in game number 4. It was Ole Miss. That's 3 games in a row now, right? That Ole Miss has struck first. 2 of those games, of course, would end at 4-3 score lines with Ole Miss in the leading seat.
So far, they've been starting from behind. In fact, I think at least a couple of those games they've started 2 goals behind. Eagles did come back, be able to at least tie it up, but then a re-extension thereof by Ole Miss has made life very difficult. And none of these rotations have been easy. They've been definitely moving into the midfield, and Eagles have been owning the majority of territory. You're seeing Ole Miss now stepping forward, just keeping the birds in the cage. Something about these flightful pheasants out here, be it Eagles, be it Hawks, as soon as that cage begins to close, the phobia sets in.
I hear you. Hey, can't be surprised what happens. You back a wild animal into the corner. OC, I'm not sure how that continues on for like the Rebels mascot of Ole Miss, but we move forward. The OC Eagles just looking for the first as of right now, which I gotta say 2 minutes into a game sounds a little bit surprising to say out loud.
Chile's gonna try and get up there late. They will duel and they will 50-50 alongside C Money. This one's a takeaway outside of Burson, but Stealth was very deeply pocketed. Trying to see what they can do. That's a nice set to North. He gets a bonk. Can they get a bump and set up just a little bit closer, and that'll find it. Chile will tie us up just before halftime.
The second shot attempted, finally makes one in here, about 2 seconds outside of halftime, like you said. But this all comes off the back of C Money not really getting the definitive and forceful clear that they were really looking for.
This has been an Ole Miss defense that has really had its back broken and had them have mighty shoulders to stand against the outward onslaught, overtly so, by OC. Love the drop down and continuation there by North, making sure to nullify the initial attempt. Stealth always has another idea. That just is too easy. They were not seeing the extra man on the outside.
Yeah, you call it C, I call it too easy, Lamb. That was really just gifted on over towards C Money. Even watching the replay right there, I got it from a different angle. It didn't quite affix my attention to exactly how this play unfolded. OC Eagles, I mean, there's been multiple times on offense, there's been multiple times on defense that they've just not played to the level that we have become accustomed to, really.
Shout it over to apparently C Money's girlfriend being in the chat as well as we go 2-2 with 2 minutes. Everyone showing up, friends and family.
Oh,
and
that's what it is. You got the Lunar Mom buff. You got the C Money GF buff.
Yeah. So you got what's next? You got to have the in-laws. You got to have your dean.
The
you
neighbor.
Have your dog. Yeah. It says C Money's neighbor. That'd be fantastic.
That would be great.
Still
support
2-2
from all sides.
Everywhere else. And so far, keeping to at least a kosher mark right now. Eagles are going to see this one thieved away. Stealth is going to be abusing them. They get a demo onto them, so it's going to at least supply them with a little bit extra boost. G-Man has no boost. He drops down, hoping to just make contact. Look at Ole Miss just keeping this entire pitch so close quarters.
Just completely covered, and once again, so now it's the OC Eagles making kind of that mistake before. Like, yeah, you're getting a clear. What is the end result of that clear? Is it the ball going on the other side and it kind of staying there at least for a little while? Is it your team taking possession, or is it you just really changing the location of the possession from in front of your goal to the other side, aka cross side boosts they can pick up and dimes along the way to fill up those boost tanks. Like, it's one of those things you really have to think about the second action as much as the first.
It's so tough to do, especially for these guys that are always going so fast. 45 seconds though, and sometimes it's going to become the first option. OC has always been looking at the second option. Ole Miss, their second option is the first option, and it's whatever's left from after OC ends up taking 3 or 4 separate shots and then comes out of their own back half. Stealth. The drop on bursts in to try and neutralize. They do not let OC move out. Stealth has already turned around. No, that's C Money. Stealth is going to be the middleman. Takes on 2. He's sumo wrestlers his way through. The Rikishi, he's too fat, too large, and that Mawashi is going to stay nice and tight. 15 seconds left.
Nice hit right there. North and the rest of the OC Eagles realized this one. It was his teammate G-Man. They really read that one out. A bouncing ball, not going to bite into this one. A great job from Ole Miss just reading this perfectly out. That's another hit for the double tap inside. J-Man takes it. It's another 0-second goal for the OC Eagles, and they purchase themselves a little bit of a new lease on life.
Chile had one last job to do. That one came off the front face of the backboard and crossbar. It screamed outwards. Find a touch somehow. It was the most favorable one you could possibly find, off the top corner and down. And G-Man, well, that's the easiest one he's going to find tonight. Only 3 shots this time. Ole Miss sees their early match point now go away, as we will be hitting a game number 7. It's non-elimination, but both these teams are treating it like it's a championship.
Are you sure about that? Did anybody tell these teams that this wasn't a single elimination? Because, my God, they're playing like it. 3 shots attempted, 2 goals made in. The theme, which is always the one that I'm going to go with, right? Like, the only good thing about having quantity over quality when you're talking about these shots is if you're in the head, if you're ahead, because if you're constantly burning out this time by making shots that don't ultimately end up in the back of the net and you're behind, well, you're just wasting time, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you're literally taking the situation that you're in and you're taking your opportunity to go forth and shoot or even pass it or set up something a little bit more like formulated, right? And you're just throwing it by the wayside and destroying the one resource that you and your opponents share, and that's time. As it is, I love what Ole Miss is doing when it comes to the quality of shots that they're putting forth here.
They do it off of fantastic just looks out of what this squad and the Eagles kind of give up in terms of gap and space. This is a tough one for them. That's front face. Do they have the follow? They do. Burson finds Chile, but not the ball. 30 seconds in. This ball has already traveled what feels like forever up and down this pitch, and I mean, Eagles are playing a completely different game. This is slow ball now. Look how just methodically and very purposely they're taking each of these possessions.
You know, Champs Field, you can't really be surprised here for game number 7. That's where it's going to go to. A bouncing ball. G-Man, were they actually coming off the back of a demo? Because that's another thing that I always talk about, right? Like when demoing goes wrong, when keeping it real goes wrong, right? Like when you end up just repositioning your opponent with boost in a predictable position on the backside right there, when you demo them, when they're on offense, then that's one of the times that it can go wrong. Well, how about putting your nose dog style up your opponents there and sending them off the corner? That is not good. G-Man had an honest shot attempt onto this one, and North makes it, well, not so.
Well, I mean, if there's any silver lining to get out of that one for them, they were both in the same thought process. Just got to be able to communicate that, know exactly where your opponent is. But Ole Miss will take that opportunity, and the shot isn't easy for Freezy. That is a fantastic cut by C-Money, taking away that mid pass, and oh my gosh, Stealth makes it 2.
How did this happen? I'm like, my eyebrows shot way up. 104 kilometers an hour. For American folks, that's what, about 65, 70 miles an hour, something like this. So breaking speed limits 90% of the places that you drive here in this great country. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Minute and a half in, and Ole Miss is up by 2. No shots attempted from Chile.
Oh, no. Well, okay, come on. Okay, there we go. Open nets are the scariest. So 1, that's unfortunate. 2, the previous goal was actually had a blue streak on it, which means that it ended up that fast because it came off of the interior of the man on the wall. So Eagles are seeing this one go sideways. 3 minutes 18 and 03.
We'll call that I mean, obviously that angle was so fast you can't call like a true own goal, and it was done in the attempt of maintaining possession. But you can't deny that if the player had not been there and angled inside, that goal would not have gone inside. So we'll call it 3.5 own goals, and you can, whatever color it was, you can color FBI Tugboat surprised.
Well, it'll be blushing blue apparently with the way this has been happening so far. OC Eagles. This is their greatest deficit, and it's been one of their greatest obstacles because Ole Miss has found a way to get some offense running and to get the Eagles to commit some mistakes. G-Man on the turn. They're going to isolate C-Money. He had just enough in the tank, about 20 or so, and that might be a 4th. What a save from out of North.
Just appearing out of the wind when they're needed, like a superhero from comic lore. Seriously. Like, you only see them when you need it the most. Well, North is there. I personally didn't see how they got there. Excuse me. North fighting off the backboard as of right now. And it's a weird thing to say out loud, my friend, but 2 minutes to go. Ole Miss can play the keep-away game soon.
They often like to play spoiler. This kind of program, this kind of squad, has been very attitude-driven. About taking advantage of the moments when you don't know they're there. Less than 2 minutes, and look at C-Money still trying to find it. They will take away the waterfall opportunity, but every single opportunity that begins at that back third by OC, somehow Ole Miss is just land sharking their way through the hexagons and through the meat of it all, and it feels like OC might just be out of reach.
Yeah, and G-Man right here, like, they're going horizontally because they're trying to get into the offensive position, and I do get that. Right now is pretty much when you need to change your offensive positioning, right? And you're reasoning to, hey, just put this ball up because, again, just like I said earlier, loss of 1, loss of 2, loss of 9, all the same, especially in a Game 7 situation. We've been going that all the way down. OC, they find the value from a little bit of physical play and find one back. 80 seconds to go or so, 2 scores down.
See if they can find some magic bullet to put in the chamber. OC, they've found their way through before, but Ole Miss just got to tighten things up. Flip reset from out of stealth, looking for the 50-50. This one's going to go very high. Person will commit. He cannot get back to this ball. It's another boomer ball situation. C-Money's on the ground. They're waiting on the waterfall. That one was the hope on the horizon for the Eagles. North on the takeaway. They're going to try and play dirty, maybe get some bumps going on the goal line, but again, the escape artist that is Houdini apparently took notes from stealth. Flip reset. G-Man over the arc of one. They're trying for the shot. Chili makes it one difference.
Holy moly. G-Man looks like they're going to be trying to take this one themselves. No, it's a pass, and C-Money realizes this one just a little bit too late. We got a game on our hands, folks. Ole Miss started this one 3 up. OC is struck back in every way, shape, and form, except for one, I suppose.
They've sent 2. Stealth is going to be the last man back. He's actually at the midfield line. He's going to try and fin it over to the corner. A half minute remaining. They're going to bring this one back. They're trying to navigate, read into the windshields of OC. See what they can do. That's a demo. Can they get it past the last man? No. Stealth dodging another demo. We've got a quarter of a minute remaining. Ole Miss just has to keep this one down in distance, and Oklahoma Christian has got a lot of distance to cover. They're going to do it one more time. It's bouncing. Chili with the jump on and in. Are you kidding? Add those threes together. You got the 6 seconds we got left.
Wow, dude. You're on the defense. You just need to get this tiny little hit, and it hits the inside post and in skis. 6 seconds to go. We were always going to go down to overtime, Monkey Man.
Game 7 OT. Wouldn't have it any other way. Stealth wants to make magic happen one last time. They're going to let this one drop.
Wow.
Overtime. They're calling the bonus. Let's hit it.
Man, one of these teams, a lot of recent success and all kinds of competition. One of these teams fighting back from the brink. Ole Miss, can they close it out here? Help to rewrite some collegiate Rocket League history. Now again, no elimination off the basis of this game, but this would be a fantastic and monumental win for this Ole Miss squad. When I mean, just the writing on the wall obviously was the other way around.
30 seconds in. Down 3. Hot strike, and that's it! Cash money! He hit the ATM and hit the bonus bucks bopping out of it. Ole Miss, they took 3 in a row off the chin, and then they decided to dish one back.
That is a perfect angle off the corner. What can I say, Ole Miss, it just means more. The SEC has always referred to Rocket League whenever they screamed that motto for 120 years or something like that.
Of course.
What else could they be talking about?
Yeah, no idea. No, yeah.
The real moneymaker. The real moneymaker. Game 7,
wow.
barn burners in the NECC and Rocket League. Man, oh man, hats off. Not going to do it because it'd be loud and hit this thing. Hands together. Not going to clap super loud because it'd be annoying in your ears. But everything, all kinds of lauds and virtual flowers. Don't have flowers, Ole Miss. Sorry. That's 3 of them now. But fantastic stuff, man. Seriously. I'm having too much fun.
What can you promise these people?
Yeah, like, what is real FBI tugboat? No. Ole Miss, man. Seriously. Salute. Fantastic, fantastic job. This was a barn burner match. It was a blast to cast. It was something where they capitalized upon the mistakes of this Oklahoma Christian Eagles squad over and over again. And we always say that in high-level Rocket League, it's very infrequent that there's just be like, oh, very high-skilled team that's just going to employ their will upon the other. No. Great teams capitalize upon mistakes, and that's not just how Ole Miss got to Game 7. That's how they won Game number 7.
Looking at it now, you're also going to see the path forward. Ole Miss has to go against an in-conference rival of Indiana Tech. Last time they faced against them, I think it was like week 1 or 2, and they fell to them 4-1. So they're going to be hoping for a different outcome there. On the other side of the lower bracket of this double elimination for Division 1, it's going to be OC Eagles. I think that they're going against, it's going to be Fisher. So that's a lot of work to be done. That's already a high-stakes match all the same there, Tugboat. I mean, we still got one match left for ourselves as well. This night is not done for us.
No, it is not. No, it is not by any means. An absolute barn burner it was, folks. But we do have Broncos Gold. Yes, Broncos Gold taking down Rogers State Red. Still postseason. Not going to be double elimination. This is going back down to D4, so this will be single elimination. Correct, Monkey Man?
Yes, it will. So that means that everything to play for, and Broncos and the Hillcats, they got to be coming out all guns blazing. So far, you and I have been given a treat, but some big treats that also out there isn't just Rocket League, but it's also some good old Winslow's Farm. In case you haven't seen it, their commercials are fantastic. So when we go to this break, make sure you're watching because they're made in Wisconsin. They got 14 mouthwatering flavors, and they're great for gaming. So, hey, man, check them out. It's legendary Wisconsin meat sticks from 1977. they make them fresh. Just, that's how long they've been around. Make sure to check them out, Wenzel's Farm. But that's going to be me and Tugboat. Before we go to this short break, make sure you just, check your posture and get some water. I've got mine. You get yours. We'll be back for some Division 4 action right after this.
I wish we stayed the same. I got way too many thoughts in my brain, but I got memories that run through my veins. I'm not one to blame, but I could point out every way that you changed. Some things stay up while others go right down the drain. And lately we've been going down in flames. But if I'm honest, I get in my feels when I want you. Say you feel it too, I'll haunt you. Hold on till I'm lost in nirvana. But if I'm honest, I get in my feels when I want you. Say you feel it too, I'll haunt you. Hold on till I'm lost in nirvana. But if I'm my therapist is saying that I should. I don't believe it, but I really wish I could. Instead, I guess I'll stay misunderstood. Oh, 'cause I'm stuck now, just trying to figure a way out. I've tried but can't seem to slow down. I don't know if I want to. But if I'm honest, I get in my feels when I want you. Say you feel it too, I'll haunt you. Hold on till I'm lost in nirvana. But if I'm honest, I get in my feels when I want you. Say you feel it too, I'll haunt you. Hold on till I'm lost in nirvana. But if I'm
Hello and welcome back, folks. Short break it was indeed. We keep our promises here at the NECC. FBI Tugboat here with my man Monkey Man. We just had an absolute barn burner between Oklahoma Christian Eagles and the Ole Miss squad. Those Rebels able to take it down 4-3 in overtime in that Game 7 as well, Monkey Man.
That was everything that we could have wanted out of any of our playoff matches, mostly also to include Division 1. So they're showing up. They've got double ELM on the mind, and they're going to be doing with that. But we go from Div 5 to Div 1 to Div 4. So we're saving some fun stuff as we'll be going into this matchup. Again, single elimination is the conversation. It is still best of 7, but this one's going to be between California State Polytechnic University at Pomona. You might know them as Broncos Esports Gold, but the Rogers State Red Hillcats are ready to try and do what they can across from them. But this Broncos program, they have 2 squads that I think both went like 6-1. So this is kind of good.
Yeah, Broncos Gold specifically, yeah, like you said, 6-1, 25-10 when you count the map wins and losses or individual round wins and losses. Rogers State, a little bit of a different story. Got to call it like we see it, 4-3, 20-14 overall. So able to make it in the playoffs. We'll see what they're able to do with it. Single elimination on this one as well. Double elimination in the previous in Div 1, but our lower divisions will go down just that more standard single elimination.
Hey, but still for Div 4, I feel like this is going to be, just a heartfelt fight, especially that you have that first round. Gal be able to rock it through. The cool thing about this as well for California State Polytechnic University Pomona Broncos, if both of their teams win, the green and gold, they're on the same side of the bracket, which means that they will end up facing off with one another. That's kind of a neat way to have to deal with your semifinals. But for the Hillcats, I mean, they're ready to disrupt that flow, ready to really kind of deal with anything that comes through. So I want to see if we do continue to find ourselves in the same lock, stock, and barrel of what has happened in our previous 2 series, because both of our Div 5 and Div 1 matchups, by Game 4 or through Game 4, we were tied 2-2. Only difference with our recent ones that had to go to Game 7 to be decided.
Yeah, first one goes down to Game 6. I mean, what is this? We have 4 total overtime matches. Both of the first 2 in our first match, right? No more overtime all the way through. In fact, they would end at a 6-0 victory for Edinburgh over that MSU Red squad for the single elimination. So we would be saying goodnight to MSU Red at that point. Others like, it wasn't the very first game. It was the second game we got overtime in that second match between Oklahoma Eagles and Ole Miss, and then finish it out on overtime. We'll see how many overtime matches we get in this last one. Barn burner, sure it will be indeed. The theme has been established for the day, Monkey Man. They can't go against it.
No, not at all. Everything is a pattern. Life is a pattern. The numbers do not lie, and neither do I. So let's go into our final match of the evening. Hungry Stork, Merc, Molten Ice, as Cosmo, Kist, and R93G are set to face off with one another. First 30 seconds, seeing a lot of presence of the Broncos upfield. The Hillcats suddenly under fire. There is no one to defend the backboard. That means Hungry Stork has a free shot down in center.
Yeah, sweeping down onto him. Storks, you're generally known for delivering babies. This one, and deliver a goal. Fantastic stuff. And better depending on your perspective, I suppose. 36 seconds into this one, the Broncos Esports Gold Squad finds one, make it 2. Hungry Stork strikes twice.
Never knew Hungry Storks were this dangerous, but I'm going to need to start going back to my aviaries and see maybe if they've got some killer storks up in there. They immediately bite off another one, as Broncos Esports knows when to find the Hillcats lacking here in the first minute of play.
Yeah, the kickoff plays and how these teams operate off of kickoffs, whether or not they're going to take possession and make something work with it, like turn it into points or at least sustained possessions that result in multiple shot attempts, that is a theme that we've seen as well. OC was doing that really, really well. Ooh. Edinburgh on the other side in our match number 1, able to do that and make just a lot of things happen off the very, very first initial touches. Minute into this one, ball back down, trying to find a third early was the Hungry Stork.
Seeing if Broncos continue to just hold possession. Right now they have denied Rogers State from really advancing forward, but we're finally in bluer grasses, and that's a big demo by Merc to thin out this would-be attack. They've moved a lot more lateral than anything, and that one goes bonking off of Kist. They kissed it with their bumper. That provides the Broncos another chance to really just extend this one vertically. And the Hillcats have not seen themselves threaten the back line of Broncos as of yet.
Yeah, and Hungry Stork had like all the room with which to work, assumed that at least one, if not two, Rogers State Red defenders would have made a connection on that one. And that's just one of those that's just one of those things when you play the odds and ultimately did not really come up in your favor. It doesn't really matter, of course, though. I mean, Stork's gotten 2 so far, and they're sitting pretty. As of Rogers State, they really have not had, again, what we've been talking about, those sustained long offensive possessions.
So far, much of the clock has just been in the hand of Broncos Esports, and so they're controlling everything through Chronos. I think they have, maybe a poker game to go play with them later on. But Rogers State, they've been chilling with Hades down under and not where they want to be. Half of this game has already gone by. Only 2 goals. Only, though, seems like a mountain to climb right now as Rogers State is under the oppression of these Broncos running at them.
That was a great job stopping this one, sending it back down the other way of Rogers State Red. Corner plays popped, outskis, kissed. Now on a little bit of a run, picks up corner boost as well. They're going to be really, really lucky that that was not a little bit more centered. Otherwise, we'd be staring at a what would seem like probably, sub 2 minutes, insurmountable 3-0 there for the Broncos Esports Gold Squad.
Sometimes you see teams that they execute in a very kind of off pace. Molten Ice giving a lot of spatial respect to the defense, and now you got to start wondering if some of that will make the Broncos encroach, come up, maybe take some of that away, give away less of that comfortability. And there's a lot of demos happening. I'm not gonna lie. I want to see the demo side of this line after we get through this game, because I think we've seen at least 10.
Sometimes as casters, folks, we try and find a way to weave most intricate $5 words into stuff. Sometimes we just need there's a lot of demos going on, like what Monkey Man gave us a second ago. Not bad by any means. Don't take it like that, man. I just thought it was really funny.
And that was great. I was like, man, there's explosions.
They're dropping fast. Oh, NECC After Dark. They're having a little bit of fun. Once again, folks, you want to pipe up in chat. Keep it respectful, of course. Oh, that was almost to the inside. And maybe a little bit more of an open net type situation. Got to get down to the bottom. Merck tries to get 4 on the floor and gets demoed just for getting there.
Well, one good demo deserves another, I guess, as apparently that's all that we need. It is a fist fight. We went from the nuances of our previous series into an overtime in game number 7 to an absolute brawl. 2 goals. Well, apparently that's all that was necessary. Ooh. It will be split down the middle as Rogers State, through a war of attrition and apparently explosions, will be able to at least find their first.
Yes, yeah, so 22 seconds in, Rogers State, excuse me. So that was Cosmo there kind of channeling their inner stealth from the previous matchup, right? How they'd always seem to find those inside lanes and then make it cut. Frequently, the result in a goal. Cynical before then, and another fantastic shot and attempt from one Hungry Stork. Trying to feast right there. R9 down low. Molten Ice freezes this one up and allows none to pass.
Keep this one skyward. They don't really have a lot of boost to try and make it happen. This one eventually will touch grass. I don't know if they heard my challenge about it at least. Hold on. I'm trying to find this. There's 4 demos on that one. Apparently there was a lot of better stats. I wish we could see the full collection. But the majority of shots, this is what definitely has to change. Rogers State, 4 of their 5 shots came from Cosmo. Obviously, you're going to start seeing that spread out. And obviously, it's kind of some of the same. Hungry Stork had 5 of the 7 from out of the Broncos. So this one was kind of a wild situation. I think that we also might be changing servers. So who knows what could be going on that front. Broncos started quick, though, man. That was a team that just got in the face of the Hillcats and was like, okay, cool. Hey, we're gonna play slaps, and it's mostly just gonna be with fists.
There you go.
That's it.
I think that's called boxing. Yeah, that's called boxing. No, but it's more just like so. I mean, you hit it right on the head, like ping pong, basically, just like back and forth. I mean, you could have taken the middle 4 minutes of this match and basically taken it out and we could have just said, hey guys, we weren't able to broadcast it, but They just went back and forth and just, went possession, maybe 8 second, 10 second section at a time for a while after those two first initial goals, and then the fantastic cut from Cosmo from Rogers State to bring this one back down to 1. All I want to see from Rogers is like a little bit more of those plays. I mean, it was the very, very beginning before actually the Broncos had scored their second that there was another like kind of cut play, and then ball bounces. First defender misses, second defender misses. If this player for Rogers State had gotten a position, I just mean like a little bit farther up. I'm not talking about across the pitch. If they just gotten a little bit farther up, it's like ball's here, net's there, I could blow onto it and it would go inside, right? And obviously if that had happened, we'd be looking at a 2-2 scoreline, might still be casting this game in overtime. Not where we live right now, though.
No, not right now. So maybe some of that ends up changing. But also, all of a single game, all of the first game. Got to get your comfy boots and ultimately sit in where you're going to start and getting some of those plays. Big save already. That one doesn't get credited to the defender, as it does at least come off of the front face, but they do assist with it. One player that has to be shut down, if you're the Hillcats, is getting rid of Hungry Stork. That dude was feasting.
Trying to fill the belly. Oh, I thought that nose down was actually going to find it into there. Almost like the opposite of a musty flick, right? Not from like, with the nose under and then up, but the nose down and from on high, right? I feel certain there's a name for that one. Hungry Stork, another shot attempt, but it's quickly blocked away. That one, wow, yeah, so they actually put this right onto the nose of R9. This is one of those situations where, like, folks, if you just sit in net sometimes you can get super fancy blocks and just park the bus. Don't put it in a drive.
Throw a lateral and make them have to come to you. Sometimes the most intimidating thing is just to stand there menacingly. First minute goes by, and Rogers State Red finally gets themselves into enemy territory. Molten Ice wants to be able to take control of it, and it was 2 attackers from the Broncos. Now we're starting to see at least the most minimal of slivers be traveled upon by Rogers State. Up from the 45, Hungry Stork wants to flip reset. I think they got only half their wheels on it. Ooh. Another big save. That's been the major stat line and narrative at this point right now. Hillcats finding these just in the nick of time.
And then it's a double commit onto the offense. If they score here, okay, so that's a little bit of the pressure relieved for right now. Hungry Stork does get demoed. R9 tries for this one. Molten Ice coming up to it, a bouncing ball inside. Molten Ice slinks this one in. And you know what I just realized, Monkey Man? You know what Molten Ice is?
Water?
It's water. It's water.
Fluid. Very.
Yeah, right?
Very...
That's not really as cool of a name, though, right?
Yeah, no, just Wada. It's like getting a tattoo in another language other than English on you, and you're just like, oh, what's that? Oh, it's water. Like, oh, okay.
But if you get molten ice in Chinese, oh, Merc. Another one, headhunting in front of the net, just takes it right to the paint and waits for it.
Fantastic work so far, and we're back to regular motions in the ocean right now, be it Molten Ice or otherwise, from out of Broncos Esports. Rogers State feels like so much is just a response, but not quite the entire letter. They write the word "the" in very fun calligraphy. Trying for anything. Third man. Oh, need to have them step up.
Molten Ice gets a favorable 50 onto this one. It's going to bounce back into the open, waiting arms of a Hungry Stork. They're like off the backboard, but still get a savior medal for that one. Okay. Back to the middle we go. R9, a wonky 50-50, goes back to the right side. Molten Ice burns all kinds of boosts to try and get to it, not once but twice. Followed it up, kissed, takes down a Hungry Stork. On bird hunting as of right now. A shot over last player. That's weak, and it's an own goal. Oh no!
Are we at 2 hands worth of own goals? I think. Also, look at the effort here. R93G was going to be there for the putback. Hungry Stork bopped him to the side, but then absolutely slammed it on his teammate.
If anybody's going to score on my goal, it's going to be me. That's what the Broncos Esports Gold Squad says. But a fantastic redirect and a pass to the left post. Crosser goes in. They're not going to rob the goal this time. Hungry Stork gets a hat trick as well. Yes.
every hungry stork needs a little bit of water, and Molten Ice decides to deliver, and they just get it fluidly to that near side post. So reestablishing a 2-goal lead. Broncos Esports trying to force the Hillcats to have to be in danger to move up this pitch. It's been a lot of demos, a lot of physicality. It actually has thinned out just a tiny bit here in this game, but to the chagrin of the Rogers State Hillcats, I mean, they're still seeing this one behind. Kissed, hoping to get a flip reset, but that one will just be set to the side.
Yeah, just tried to get in and maneuver around this ball when they were just going a little bit too fast, and that is a weird one. Okay, Rogers State, here you go. It's your birthday. Here's a goal. I hope you find it, or it finds you in good health. I mean, this is a real tough one, especially given that all three Broncos Esports Gold players are literally populating as close as you can in front of this net.
Just a little bit of a miss jump and kind of timing situation. Hoping for a shot. That's a great call off by Molten Ice, who has been quite the glue between a lot of these guys, especially whenever you're seeing them work alongside Hungry Stork. So as long as they stay consistent with that, they should be able to see this one suffer down into a tie situation. For Rogers State, I mean, you've made this team make mistakes. Even if some of them are suffered from their own psyche and situations, just continue to run forward. Eventually, the imperfections will show. 45 seconds now here, Tugboat, as Rogers State feel like they desperately need this game.
Yeah, I mean, they really do. It was a 1-score differential in the game number one. There was about to be a 2-score differential until, about like this, about 45 seconds, which is when Rogers State scored most recently. A flashy one, and it was, even though it might have been gifted over a little bit. Broncos State has also been playing defense for quite a while in the we talk about, defense is getting tired in like traditional sports and whatnot, right? The equivalency of this is that they only have access to 2 corner boosts, and those are frequently going to be taken by the offenders as well. So that was almost it. Everybody, or at least Hungry Stork and Merck, both had time to pick up a little bit of boost. And of course, this ball now living in the other side. 0 second. Little Flores lava action as Hungry Stork tries to flick it on over. Everybody bites on the defensive side, and nobody focuses on keeping this ball alive. Another 1-score differential and a win for the Broncos Esports Gold Squad.
This will be the first time tonight as well through any of our matches that any one team has gotten up 2-0 in the first 2 games, let alone a 2-0 lead just this early on. So, where it shows a close proximity onto the scoreboard, I feel like this is a lot in better control for Broncos. You're finding shots. You're getting the Hillcats to at least impose a little bit of closeness, making them uncomfortable, but it's in the latter minutes. Some of that is garbage time. Some of that is where some of this game has already been defined. And for Broncos, their confidence is at an all-time high. Yep. They've made some mistakes. There's been some loose balls. But ultimately, they've kind of baited along the Hillcats, and Hillcats have to establish an existing offense that they make themselves.
Yeah, like, you can't always rely upon this, wait until they make a mistake and then capitalize upon it. This could have very, very easily been a 3-1, like the true, well-worked goal that they coordinated and were able to draw it up, then execute, find a point on the other side of that execution. That only really happened one time in this game number 2. Here's a continuing stat line for you. All of the first 3 games, except for the very, very first one, and the previous match between Oklahoma Christian and Ole Miss, went to 1-score games. 3 of those 6, right, the 6 total games between the previous 2 matches, went to overtime.
We find ourselves into an overtime in this matchup. It's going to be extra efforts. Nice squishy save by Kist. I'm starting to see the on button start to glow green with Kist. They were very quiet in the first game. It's game number 2. That activation state took a second. And now you're going to rely on R93G to try and make theirs blink much more similarly. Rogers State is acting well between each of their players. They've got to collectively be there for one another at a higher tick rate than Broncos. And Broncos? I mean, this is the first time in a while that we're having to see them play a bit more defense. Disguised it well! Cosmo will top shelf it.
Okay, watch this one and put yourself in the perspective of Cosmo here, right? So, okay, now here we go. One player down right, but they're facing the wrong direction. Molten Ice is getting targeted by their teammate. time to shoot. Doesn't have to be, you don't have to come up to it, flip reset on it 40 times, and that is how you squander a lead, man. Rogers State, they go forth and they score first for the first time in this series so far, right? A little bit of life, completely squandered off a kickoff.
That's the risk of sending the two. You have the third man going for the corner boost immediately, and if you're trying to double up and take on the initial kickoff like that, then it's such a 50-50. It's a tough read, and that's why reaction time in this game is still at such an all-time high. You can have the mechanics, you can have the intelligence, but it truly kind of boils down to what you're doing into that early moment. So as we go into this first minute, looks like there were a little bit of disconnect. So yeah, I don't think Molten Ice is doing that in-game?
I don't think so either. Note the score right here. It's tied up, so chances are, because this is like basically within the first minute, we will reset this one. If if it is our, if it's our observer staff that got kicked out of the game and they're still playing with no interruption whatsoever, they will continue playing. Okay, gotcha. I thought that was my connection for a second. Yeah.
I thought I needed to start getting up and start skipping around my room. I was like, oh no, I'm not prepared.
Dance, man, monkey man, dance!
The dance of life. I do it with tears. Oh my
I love
gosh.
that. I love that. Yeah. So just as a final thing, right? That was 1-1, 3:57. That's where we'll go back to if we need to get back on into this game, just for posterity's sakes or whatever else like that. Our wonderful production staff on the day that is going to be Chippy, and of course Christina. Yes, Christina running socials, tagging us, letting y'all know where to go and see it on Twitter and other socials, so that you can go forth and see where those streams are. We very, very much appreciate our not just our social media staff that's letting y'all know who's not actively in here where to come and find it, but also our production staff, without whom our job as casters gets way, way harder. Let me tell you. So
really
again,
does.
big shout out to Chippy, big shout out to Christina. I believe that's TTL and TTP and Rinny producing the other stream over there as well. I think there's some League of Legends going on right now. The Goose and Llama are covering. I'm not actually not 100%.
Oh, I think it's
sure.
I believe it's Rainbow Six Siege. So
Rainbow
so
Six
they're
Siege. Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah,
So
so
basically
they're-
the same thing, right?
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah. One's a MOBA, the other one's a MOBA with bombs.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Looks like we'll be
Bang. Oh.
resetting this one fully. And again, there was no value. There was nothing taken from either of these teams. They were tied up 1-1. They'll just be basically getting an extra minute and 3 seconds to go forth and play a formal game.
And everyone pretty much agreed. They're like, you know what? Just let it roll, let it run,
Yeah.
let's get some fresh times and some fresh connections. So totally understandable. But Rogers State, biggest thing between them is that they need to be able to score first. I feel that in my bones. Merc and Molten Ice, they're both on the backboard. Heck of a drop in, and Cosmo does it better in this one than they did before.
Okay, so it's funny because we can look at this one like exactly the same way and look at it. Molten Ice and teammate are both looking at that player who's not moving, right? Cue the Jaws music. They heard it, blood in the water. They're paying attention to the player down bottom. They do not pay attention to Cosmo from on high, from the stars there, and that's the player who's going to go forth and score.
And it's not like that has been an incapability for this Hillcat group. It's just that you've had Broncos all over them doing
Okay.
exactly this.
Why did we reset the game? Like,
They just want to make sure it's all integrity, all legal, even if it didn't matter.
but they do the exact same thing, right? Rogers
Yeah, but they
State,
wanted a better shot. Look how cool that was in
That
comparison.
is a very, very good point. Yes. Style never dies.
Okay. There we go. All right. Over 2-1. This is why they wanted a new server. Didn't matter that the game was tied. Didn't matter what was going down between them. Both these teams have apparently just let loose the weights.
Fantastic job. Rogers State following this one up with not just one but the second. Yes, and like it was a kickoff goal. That's exactly how the Broncos got it last time, but at least looking a little bit different now than it did before our reset earlier. That's decently centered. Can they get to it? They can. Stork reaches a wing out to it mid-flight. Blocks that one away, sends it back down the other side of the pitch.
Ooh. Interior post, they're going to have a putback, but filling the gap, R93, they didn't get that one outward. They had no boost. This one coming down. Both Merc and Hungry Stork stuck nearby. Stork is going to have to at least go up for this ball, but they had nothing to jump into it with. Where in the world did the Hillcats just come from?
Yeah, this is everything that the doctor ordered here. Maybe a reset just necessary as Cosmo absolutely cuts the head off of that defender. You come up to it, I will get on top. Little man, or low man on the totem pole right there. And we got 3 minutes, 33 seconds left, and a 2-score differential for the side of Rogers State, which is not a situation they have enjoyed at any point across the first 2 games.
First 100 seconds feels like it's been a lot longer, but that's because we've had 4 separate replays. Ooh! Kiss in the air behind that ball as nearly our, umpteenth OG was about to manifest in real time by the Hillcats. Something has come alive. Rogers State has decided that all of that extra value and experience throughout the season has turned into volatility to push the Broncos back into the barn. R93 aiming for a back pass, and that actually gives just enough distance to take it away from a would-be attacker.
See if that possession turns into something, or that play, excuse me. Turns into something. Another cornered shot. Hungry Stork right there. Cosmo tries to find it, but Rogers State ain't going to be denied. Halftime now.
4 goals collected between, and if you looked at the previous couple of games, this was a completely different Hillcat squad. But the prowling is occurring out of Rogers State. Massive defensive effort. I believe that was Cosmo all of just moments ago. Broncos Esport has been capitalizing on space given up, hoping for a double tap, and the crossbar, the 4th man, everyone is just showing up to the party for no one to get any extra by the Broncos.
I gotta agree with you, man. This looks categorically different from our first 2 games. The Broncos squads look well executed within their passing plays. Their communications were crisp, and there wasn't even like that first move to go to double commit. Nice block right there, but they have to double commit on the other side to try and just get this ball blocked. Bouncing ball does get hit, so Hungry Stork able to clean this one up. It's going back the other way. Kiss tries to walk the dog on the inside and expects the pass from the other side. There's nobody there once Molten Ice gets demoed.
Good catch by Kiss, who actually takes a nice little stutter step, forcing the Broncos player to have to come up and give him a little nudge. Something about Broncos having to play directly into the clutch of Rogers State just feels like they can't find the answer. That one wide. Merc climbing the ladder. This is coming down. Molten Ice. Good old Wada. Hoping for another setup. This is dangerously floating nearby. Every answer has been found, and yet Molten Ice. They decipher the Millennium Puzzle. They'll keep it within 1.
Nice drip all the way inside. This doesn't have to be, some screaming shooting ball 200 miles an hour to the top left. Just got to get there, got to make that touch. 57 seconds away from Rogers State Red taking this one down, but we do know how good the Broncos Esports Gold squad has been on kickoff. Oh my goodness! R9 almost gave that one over for free. It's back the other way as Cosmo gets a hat trick, 4 shots, assists, and 3 saves. What can this player not do?
I was so afraid initially from this Rogers State group giving up that lead. No matter what, you're down 2-0 in the series. You're looking at yourself up 3-1. The last minute chimes here in game number 3, trying to deny match point this early and the possibility of a sweep. And then you just face down one of the toughest attackers in the entirety of this Broncos group in Hungry Stork. And now the Hillcats suddenly have life. 30 seconds to go. Gotta finish off game 3.
Molten Ice tries for a shot where they probably should have put this across the backboard. They had a teammate on the other side who could have very easily taken that pass, but yeah, at this point, might need to call it. As 11 seconds to go, that would have been the third score that definitely would have put the nail in the coffin here. But this ball has to go in the net right now. It does not go into the right one. Cosmo finds her Texas hat trick because everything's bigger in Texas.
Oh, Rogers State with that, and Cosmo. This is a person that was a player that was starting to really find that stride over time in the previous couple of games, and then it just all opened up. Call it the server change buff. Call it maybe resetting the lobby just for a little bit. But the Hillcats have gone nowhere but up. Stonks on the rise. Invest now before game 4.
Bye, bye, bye. That's for Rogers State red here, folks, especially. I mean, they just put up a larger score differential than Broncos beat them by across 2 different games. These are oppressive numbers upon which Broncos seems like it's going to be really, really tough to try and bring this one back from the brink. We are going on a server switch, but you have to think about the mental momentum that goes along with, okay, you beat me by 1, it was really close. Okay, you beat me by 1 again, it was really close. Okay, you come out here, we get one that was really, really well drawn up, then we gift you one, then we have to reset, and then it goes down, and we still take you down 5-2 fashion. And this is indicative of how close this was, right? It was 4-2 all the way down, then you see a lot of dedication in offense by the Broncos squad, yada, yada. They get another one here, but multi-score differential that's not like 7 or whatever, that is exactly how that is indicative of this previous game, and a hats-off play once again to Rogers State.
I gotta wonder if maybe, because it's not just all of a ping issue, but just definitely having those kind of micro technical timeouts that are coming through this series. And I feel like that does favor the Hillcats. They didn't have to run off hot momentum of like the Broncos were. And the Broncos were an overwhelming force in games 1 and 2. Those are the most forgivable games, but still, when you're going that fast, we got to see the individuality and as well as the nice team setups finally from the Hillcats in game number 3. And that was after it was a tied situation. You know, you had one a kind of a bluster that Cosmo took advantage of a hook shot at the pre-reset, and then one that was from a kickoff. That time, completely different definition of what this team looks like. I swore that they just handed the controller to their big brothers. Like this has to be how they play the whole time. It denied space. It kept Hungry Stork from having free looks. The problem is that it is a near perfection stylistic way of playing, because anytime a shot was going, it was man-to-man lined up ready to thread it down.
That's the thing. When you play, I mean, it's just like in football. When you man-to-man to zone, right? You limit big plays with zone coverage, but you have this situation where you can consistently deny any sort of value by playing that man-to-man, playing one-on-one, but you have to always win those one-on-ones because it can be very infrequent that you're going to have somebody else kind of who's able to help you out, just depending on where the ball goes. And literally that entire setup you can use for football or for Rocket League. We're looking at a situation where Stark was just completely shut down, and then everything on the offensive side, ping or not, whatever, for the Broncos just didn't work. 2 scores to 5 on the other side. These are not numbers that are easily mentally overcame. Again, ping notwithstanding.
See if maybe the connection was all of a thing, but even so, there's a newness, there's a shine, there's a glisten onto the cars of Rogers State. The Hillcats looking like kind of fresh and feeling new when they go against the Broncos. That Wifty somehow threatens that back line. Kiss has all of one man to beat. He's going to play him slow, and he's going to keep it going. Kiss
nice.
will kiss the back of the net.
Fantastic stuff. This is, I love to see this sort of self-confidence. It's not just, oh my God, where's Cosmo? How do I get them the ball, and how do I get them there as quickly as possible? No. Even with the one-on-one, take it all the way down, and it's just literally one tiny little tap. If this defender hadn't cut to the right a little bit farther, that's an easy block, and they'd still be playing the 0-0.
And they did that against Hungry Stork. So even more, you were trying to bend the weapon that the Broncos started with. Oh, drop in, double commit. They will crisscross just to make sure that one has an extra man to not have contact. That's a whiff. Got to call it out, and this is just a loose ball play. Hungry Stark will eat that all day.
Tell me if you've seen this one before. Rogers State strikes first, and Broncos draws something up on the back of defensive whiffs of Rogers State after they really, really get it in. And it's almost exact. This time it's literally exactly 1 minute in. But previously it's just been 3 seconds before, 3 seconds after, something like that around that 1 minute mark. Hungry Stork coming up to it with all the boost in the world. This is looking dangerous. They do not get the reset, and this just goes from dangerous, oh my God, klaxons blaring, air raids going off to, oh, well, here's the ball on the ground.
And that's how Rogers State needs to continue treating this as well. They need to not panic in the face of adversity, because, I mean, they were all of the previous game of seeing match point acquired and a possible reverse sweep and a best of 7 being necessary to take out Broncos. Kept their cool, They decided to not let things go too crazy. A huge defensive effort by Kist. They take on two would-be sprinting horses. And 100 seconds has finally occurred. Kist with a pass, and that's very well read. Hungry Stork was not backwards that time.
There's something there, but R9 does a great job of getting this one out and over. Hungry Stork. Cornered. Tries to get it down. Yeah, dude. So it's a very methodical play that the Broncos squad is trying to do over and over again. They take it either directly from the corner or off the sidewall, like as they're like eclipsing mid-pitch here, and just try to bring it there and get it to a teammate. But every single time, Rogers State, I mean, they have read out this play. You have to throw something a little bit different against the wall if you're going to see Rogers State bite against it.
Oh, and the creativity.
Yeah,
okay. All right, this happens because of one loose possession right here. They find it off of one. That backup touch, no one's expecting value from that. They think he's maybe getting out of the way, but that pop skip creates just enough elevation so that when Cosmo gets that touch, he can slam it and pray. Well, accuracy was there. Top 90s it is.
211, defender hit, ball almost walked all the way in. The second effort, and that's just a tiny bit too high. Assisted actually by a Rogers State Red player as Hungry Stork tries to seal the deal with that one. A wonky ball tries to get passed all the way down to Merck. They have to burn everything in the tank just to try and get on the other side of this one. That is a dagger shot, but it's going to land against the backboard and back out, assisted by Kist. Now, goes up to it, and it's a solo player back this time. Stork showing their faces on the defensive side of the pitch.
Daggers slammed into bricks are still just pointy metal, but they become at least a little bit more sharpened when put on some flints. So, Rogers State Red just had to let this one loose ball. And again, this is the difficulty. We've seen it from both sides of the pitch. Maybe just Div 4, maybe just a bit of nerves, and maybe trying to operate it at a tick rate that is just a bit too quick for them. But that cannot be what happens that many times. Loose ball play! And sometimes you just got to smooch it and see what happens.
Kiss hits this right here. Molten Ice tries to put this one up, and a Hungry Stork coming off the back of picking up boost is a little bit too far outside, and Molten Ice can't get to the inside fast enough. Broncos enjoy the tied situation for about 3 or 4 seconds until they're forced to do the same thing. Now, will they bring this to the corner and try and push it back out? No. Okay, so a little bit of difference in the offensive gameplay.
Ooh, massive demo. The follow-up is there. And every time they go for the second touch, Rogers State has at least design in mind, but Merck just put it through his shoes.
Wow. Check the goal there for a couple broken ankles, broken axles, however that one works. They literally have a cross play on here. If they'd met in the middle and pinched this one back the other way, I mean, that'd have been cool. But wow, yeah, that is a way to muscle your way in back to a tied situation.
Minute approaching. Will be Rogers State that is able to get themselves into a tied series. We've seen 2-2s for the previous two. This one was a little bit different due to it being a 2-up and Broncos possibly prepping and propositioning for a sweep. Instead, the Hillcats have decided that this is not the way that they want their fall semester to end. 40 seconds. Merck waiting for the doink chance. Never makes it there. And so that's what really changes the role between these two. Who's waiting for a moment and who's creating their own.
And honestly, you said it. You said it so perfectly, man. That is such a perfect way to have encapsulated this entire game so far. And even so, reactive versus proactive. Broncos is just trying to clear this one out. Merck ultimately isn't looking down the pitch and ultimately just puts this up against the wall, and that's an easy feast on sight type situation for Rogers State Red. Now, the good news is the Broncos have come on top of a tight situation multiple times, all the way in. R9 gets there. So they still have opportunity that have done it before, that's all I'm saying.
Gotta have enough clock though, and they've got to do it here. They've been able to squeeze the Hillcats into a cage, but feels like those feisty felines have come out swinging. They gotta fight their way through, and they gotta slap this one down. Molten Ice with a chance, they take it away. The kiss of death from Kist, and so that one will tie us up before game number 5.
Yeah, now both teams, not just one of them, 2 games away from sealing this one away. I mean, I will admit, 6-1 Broncos gold coming into this one, 25-10 on the win-loss maps. Excuse me. With Roger State, 20-14, the same respect, 4-3 overall, right? Like, the writing on the wall is that this should be Broncos. Hey, cat cam. There should be Broncos like all day long, but the way that Rogers State is playing, especially after those first 2 games, once they realized some of their mistakes, they've come back at this one. And again, it's been a 3-score game that might have even been further than that, and a 1-score game, 3-4 most recently, that very easily could have been 4-2, right? But both of the wins for the Broncos squad in Game 1 and Game 2 seemed like they had to fight tooth and nail for it.
It definitely seems so. I don't know exactly what changed in the old, maybe the coaching space. Maybe something got a little bit too confident, arrogance or otherwise. And I'm not going to think that it's even that, because this is definitely a program out of the Broncos with Polytechnic that they have 2 really good teams that are in the same playoff together. So they're probably playing maybe a different sets of computers, maybe right next to each other, and just looking back like, hey, get in the game. What are you doing?
Nice goal.
Yeah. Good games, high fives, and all around. Whereas Rogers State's like, okay, you know what? Every game is a championship. Let's rock. Let's roll. Let's go out there confidently, because when they were shut down, I swore this was Div 10. Now they're finally showing their truest colors, and they're looking really good, even if they play it close to the vest of the Broncos.
I have to agree with you. I want to give a big shout out to chat again, folks. Feel free to chime up. Keep it respectful. This is loading. Says that the kitty matches the beard. I love that. Just put her around right here and hold her there while you're casting in the future, right? Nobody will notice.
That's actually what I do sometimes. They're like, hey, like, is this fake? And no, it's not. Okay? It's real. And
beard?
something, yeah. I've literally been told my beard looks like it's a carpet. Okay?
Okay, that's a compliment, I guess. Oh, because it's thick and really well worn in. I get it.
Yeah, they're like, did you steal that from your cat? Did you shave that off, Chief? And I'm, no, I did not. Okay, grew myself.
All right. We're answering the big questions here on NECC After Dark. MT81, appreciate you coming on in, showing a lot of support for multiple teams as well as the Broncos. I believe you were in here. A little bit earlier. Big body Merck. That was a good point. Merck has done a great job. Well, we'll talk about some of these players. Merck has done a great job of playing that middling role, but immediately realizing, Monkey Man, when they need to come forth and just shoot in here, take advantage of whatever opportunity has been given them. Like, basically what Rogers State has done as a trio individually, this player over here, Merck, has done a great job. And when they're given space, when they're given possession, and when their teammates, again, play as a team, knock into defenders, open up lanes for them, they go forth and do amazing things. I'm glad that MTAT actually said that, because that was a point in the broadcast that I kind of wanted to go back to and to provide a little bit more to this game.
They got to be consistent with it, too, because it feels like that's becoming a forgotten foundry for these squads. A lot of this offense for the Broncos starts through Stork and Molten Ice. I mean, it feels like that glue, that fluidity that we had between them and Stork kind of has evaporated. But now we're right back to Demo Gang. This is where the game started. It was a Michael Bay a featurette movie, but now we've gotten into the mechanics of it all. Molten Ice. Oh, great shutdown actually by Stork to keep this one away from the Hillcats.
None of that. I just want explosions and car chases and bank robberies and shootouts and stuff. I just want the simple stuff. Feed me what I want. 45 seconds into this one, no scores quite yet. Ooh, that was almost dangerous. Hungry Stork, excuse me, was getting fed that pass, but was just getting absolutely badgered by the defense across this backboard here. So a great play, and kind of reading out that there's only a couple of, there's 2 players in the same exact spot. It's got to come from one of them if it's going to come from that side. Stork wasn't in position to get anything done.
with them being hungry Stork and now dropping the last couple of games, they've got to be hangry Stork at this point, right? Big save and another follow-up, and that is definitely a hangry Stork as they follow through. This initial attempt, they made the man jump because you had him, I think it was Kiss, being bared down upon by Merc. Molten Ice put the honest shot on, and Stork just needed to see if he can tussle it through all the defenders sitting on the goal line.
And that's going to be the first score from the Broncos Esports Gold Squad since the first 2 games that they won of this series. It's been both the other way, and, well, tell me if you've watched this game before. Looks exactly like game number 1. Stork, 2 early ones here. If it holds the same way, then there's going to be about 3 minutes between right now and the next goal, which will be Rogers State, and this will end in a close one, 2-1. Let's make it not like the past. I've already seen the past.
I want to see an unknown future. I want to see all the different algorithms come to play. Cosmo puts a knuckleball on there. R93G, you're going to try and put it underneath. Oh my goodness!
Wow.
It worked!
Okay, love it. This is a great job. Excuse me, Rogers State. I thought it was going to take 3 minutes. The follow-up here, so this ball doesn't go in unless there's a follow-up from the teammate, right? Like, and a great job it was. I mean, it can be so hard to kind of tell these twisting, turning angles right in front of this net in the paint there, but they really just, kept their nose in the grindstone, eyes on the ball.
Oh my gosh. The one thing that Rogers State is starting to do, I mean, it's definitely lended all the way back to what we originally saw in game number 1. Not sure exactly what the changeup has been happening with it. Maybe it's a server set situation, but still, this is Broncos going back to the speed that the Hillcats could not reach. And when they finally did so, now they're looking at doubles and triple looks at net that then they take so long to find an aptitude to get to. R93G, this is the second time when this has gone out into the middle just outside of the paint that they put a threat, and this one hit a critical.
Yeah, great job right here. Broncos Esports Gold Squad just takes a little bit of time to snap to and actually get onto this ball. I think they thought they had a little bit more time, like another second or two, to try and pick up boost and spread the pitch a little bit more, right? One player forward, one other player off to the side. He's going to be playing that middle position in the rotation, and then the last player back a little bit who needs to have a whole lot of boost. As they're setting that one up, Rogers State just says, hey, there's still opportunity here.
Halftime, and we have no time but the present to figure out who in the world is going to take this match point. Remember, it is a best of 7. Someone's got to get 2 more. We might end up seeing ourselves go the distance as well, as we are midway and more of game number 5. It's been a lot of demos. It's creating smoke screens that both these teams have to activate from. Kiss will kiss up against Merc, but that's a big clear. It will land off target. But look who lacks boost. That's Cosmo. It's going to become a secondary feature. Double commit. Do they find Painter? They do!
Wow. Okay, so the elusive hat trick that Stork was looking for in game number 1 and almost got at triple seconds comes off the back of a double commit here. After this player, I believe that was R9 on the other side, just left looking like, which player do I go for? It's a tough decision, man.
It's that whole choice paralysis situation. Hungry Stork, new to play the low 50 as well here, so Hillcats, strange situations. They will double commit, but still, this one's sitting a bit wayward. The next man up at least keeps it upfield, but this is becoming a much more dangerous motion. Hungry Stork is left with a free net. That's going to double up that lead. Hundo +1.
Yeah, so 2 scores Broncos, 2 scores Rogers, 2 scores here for Broncos. If that follows the theme, the next 90 seconds or so will be quick or fast. 2 scores here for Rogers State. We'll look at an overtime situation in a crucial game, number 5. We've had, 1, 2, 3 of these games go down to 1-score individual series, or individual results, excuse me. Now a shot over. Hungry Stork getting it done on the defensive side, as well as the hat trick plus that they have accumulated.
Stretching the defensive laterally, but Hillcats don't get themselves into the network of the Broncos. 75 seconds. They prioritize getting some boost. Totally understand that. It leaves a gap all the same. It's going to be Molten Ice that picks up where Merc left off. Hungry Stork. They have to play that slow and low because they lack a lot of boost. 1 minute left. Hillcats have just enough time. But if this one goes through, now that's becoming a little bit more stark, and it's because of Stork.
I love it. 7 shots attempted, 5 goals made in, every single one for this Broncos esports squad. Gold in game number 5. All 5 of them going to a single player. Hey, feed Stork. He's still hungry.
Give him the munchies. He's got them. Give him the foods. At this point, we've now gotten to, what, 5-2? I think that was done by the Hillcats as well against the Broncos. Broncos esports, the best defense is a fantastic offense, and it continues to thrive. Hillcats have gone a bit missing. They've found a couple of opportunities here and there. But remember, the weight of the situation is the single elimination that will become oh so apparent once match point is acquired, and Broncos are primed to pick it up.
Yeah, 20 seconds to go right here. There's technically enough time, but unless that goal goes in right now, that just simply ain't going to happen. A dual demo on the backside, maybe adding one to it. Okay, so 2 scores, 10 seconds. Still very, very, very unlikely, but Cosmo's going to take one, put it in a doggy bag, and feel a little bit better about it going into a game number 6. One way or another going into game number 6. Again, technically possible, but I think we can agree that it's unlikely.
You got 9 seconds to make us think otherwise. Got a score here, and that one's just not going to do it. Match point has been picked up by Broncos. Rogers State has to win 2 in a row. It's going to be a tough task, but that's why you're in the playoffs. You're going to do another server reset, and this one might be the last one for both teams.
That's a good point. Yeah, if Rogers State does not take this one down, it will be the last server reset here and redirect of that one. We'll talk about this game a little bit more, but first I want to talk about one of the organizations that make broadcasts just like this one possible, as of course, by Blue Light. Gamers, your eyes take a beating out there, but by Blue Light, BYE Blue Light, has you covered. Their premium blue light glasses keep you sharp, focused, and ready for victory without the eye strain. Level up your game and protect your vision. Check out Buy Blue Light today, which is, of course, the official eye care provider of the NECC. Buy Blue Light. That's BYE Blue Light, BLUE, Light, LIGHT.com. That's COM. I just felt like I had to spell out all of it once I spelled out BYE. Right?
Not .net,
Yeah.
.com. So, all right. And also, as a person that suffers from glaring stigmatism, yeah, blue light probably helps out. But our vision from our players is on the current now. A future for Rogers State might be ending in this round. It's got to be changed. For Broncos, I mean, this one game, this is all they need.
Yep. And this is just like what you were talking about earlier, the goldfish type of play. Play the Rocket League game in front of you. Memory does not exceed 5 minutes. Everything that's before has happened there in the past. You just got to get through this one, play another Rocket League game after that, and take a dub here in the single elimination finals. Rogers State, it's Cosmo again for the first goal for them. This has got to feel good, man.
Not only did you get the first demo, but you also were able to force out a bump onto the next line defender at the near side post, and I think that Stork was also recovering from a backside rotation, I think either off of spawn or from a previous demo. So Hillcats have decided it is theirs. What a save by Kiss, denying the early kickoff.
And Kid, dude, Hungry Stork may be a little bit upset about that one. Turns every bit of boost that they have to just get enough velocity to actually demo Kiss right there after a fantastic defensive save. Hungry Stork up to it. The double tap, no! The double tap not necessary. I thought this was going to come back in and escort it all the way in past the right-hand corner. This is perfectly solid the entire time.
Nice little, ooh, that is your bar luck at times. Sometimes the ball is getting a little bit curved and it's trying to be able to ride the pipe. And that one hit the 45, but you know what? They drafted it up. They knew the angles. They must be an engineering wizard. Well, sometimes you just got to be able to bear down upon them. Cosmo finds another.
Nicely done. Nicely done. So, minute and 1 second into this one, we got 3 scores already. This game 6, not failing to entertain already. So, Broncos enjoys a tied situation for, we'll call it 17 seconds or so. Rogers State almost takes it one off a kickoff. That was Broncos who are really enjoying a lot of value off the kickoff earlier, Monkey Man. That situation has been turned on its ear.
As completely so. And then it's going to be listening to the road and hear the rumbling of the Hillcats. Broncos Esports trying to join their brother squad into maybe a semifinal where the program can define who's going to be the favorite son. And Hillcats, well, they want to interject. They want to intercede. They want to intercept some of that familial opportunity. Cosmo will deny a demo. They will stay available here on defense. The first 2 minutes are about to elapse, and this is actually a threat by the Hillcats. Pass over. They call their number, but they will be shut down.
Yeah, so if Cosmo actually takes this shot, just based on where the players were at that time, they might have could have gotten it in, but a stout defensive effort here from Broncos, who go forth and are willing. They don't ultimately, but they were willing to dedicate two if they really needed in that in the double commit. I know it's like a bad word half the time, but sometimes it is truly necessary, just not really on that time. Hungry Stork got 5 of them last game. Pass play. This is a more methodical shot down low from Merck, and it is easily blocked away.
You gotta take your time if you're Hillcats. They definitely double committed to that moment. That seems to be that the communication is breaking down because they're just running with the flow of things. That can cost you. You need to make sure that even as you operate faster, that you don't let things just kind of get in your way and become your own worst enemy. This one goes flying by. This has got to be the cleanliness that has dropped in. Oh my goodness, Molten Ice. They got an extra flip because of that extra reset. So he's nearly able to drop one, but it's Hungry Stark. They put the beak in, they stab the back of the net.
Okay, let's look at game number 4 here. I believe that if I have this written down right, Hungry Stork had 2 in that. So, of the past 9 goals, 7 of them have been directly resulted from a Hungry Stork. Obviously, plenty of these have been assisted as well. He does not get all of these by himself. But still, wow, right? Like, after a certain point, you have to play the demo game yet again. R9 tries for the double tap, not going to quite find it, trying to twist their way mid-air and just quite couldn't get there. Boost definitely having an effect that one. Cosmo forced to come back.
As a beeline for the near side post. Molten Ice with a great collect. Cosmo, R93G, both are just trying to kind of collaborate onto something. R93G has just let it all hang loose in recency. For the last minute or so, they have been all over this pitch. They have been trying to do everything possible to just get around these angles. Merc actually might be able to get this one in the way as they try to screen out Cosmo. 90 seconds though. Elimination is alive and alert for the Hillcats. Broncos trying to do everything they can to make sure that comes to fruition.
Yeah, and R9, really honestly kind of a dangerous play, getting the nose up and angled against the corner, against the wall right there, right? Given that just as easily stops this ball and sends it back down towards an offender. Shot over. What a perfect, beautiful look from R93G.
As you see this rotation, this was a massive overcommit by Broncos, and R93G is going to get the easiest one possible as they make sure that this one drops under the bar. 62 seconds. Rogers State red. They need to continue playing clean and disciplined. Broncos, they need to step it up a notch, because at this point, the Hillcats have found a speed that these horses have lost at this moment in this juncture. Gotta be able to find a strike back. They cannot let this one get to game 7.
Cosmo popped this one over. This is going back down the other way of the Broncos Esports Gold squad now. Cornered. Cosmo quickly assumes the position. Everybody on this side, on this Rogers State side, has plenty of boost with which to work. They want to make sure they're in the best position possible on the defensive side before they actually start this one. Does give it a hit, Molten Ice does, but this completely lost 50 and back down the other way. Hungry Stork, they know that this is dangerous. First player can't get there. Pass play, shot, no, block, back the other way. Merc, it's a foot race. Barely gets there in front of the first. 6 seconds to go away from this elimination game. Centered ball, comes up for it. Last bounce territory, still gets under it. Will they get it? Tie! Molten Ice gets it in the last second.
They were hoping to knock this to the ground. Just keep it away. R93G ends up giving it away. Stork with a big bump on the third man. 0 seconds. Rogers State's entire semester rested on the hands and on the nose of R93G. And off this kickoff, it will go to the sidewall. Everything to play for. Broncos could have put it away early.
Crazy, crazy stuff right there. That's decently centered. No, excuse me. Rolls back down the other way. They're just playing with our emotions as of right now here, Monkey Man.
Cosmo from the corner. They have one man to catch. They actually have a cherry picker in R93G. Molten Ice has to play this very slow. They're going for the dunk. Next man up. Backboard. They commit to it. Merc gets a bump. R93 gets a shot. Hungry Stork. They are trying everything they can to win in this moment right here, but they have to send it skyward. That's an opportunity for the Broncos, but we go back to neutral midfield, and all of a sudden we're upfield yet again.
It's two demos. Stork comes up to it. Yeah, Rogers State, if there was anybody else left on this pitch, then they would have gotten it. Rogers down low, double commit on offense. It's another foot race. Merc picks up big boosts along the way, but lets us cut. Oh my God. Okay, that's a perfect example. You pick up dimes along the way because all you needed is about 20% boost. Oh, that's a heartbreaker.
Broncos still with another opportunity as they will have this offensive chance, this possession. Hungry Stork biding their time. They've got a man to their left in the form of Molten Ice. He's shut down. Kiss comes alive. Every kiss begins with k, but it's also what cuts down through these defenders. 3-3 and nearly 90 seconds here in OT.
Yeah, so a longer bit of overtime, a situation that has not happened in this game so far, so it just makes sense for it to happen right now. 2 players down. Shoots in for it. R9 does. At least takes it away from the defender for a couple of seconds right there. Shot over, that's not centered, and that's going to be a great play off the wall to keep this back down the other way. R9 should get behind this and does. Picks up big boosts along their way so they will not be starved out. Wow, look at that. Rogers State was escorting an offensive player all the way down, and it's the same thing on the other side. Shot over. Rogers State does it. We're going to Game 7.
Game 7, 2 times in a row. Hillcats never die. One good shutdown, but he's being bullied with an attacker behind him. And Cosmo will not disappoint. RSU Nation will go the distance. Can the Broncos be able to handle it, or the Hillcats be able to take it away?
Fantastic stuff, man. Fantastic stuff. Look at that. 7 saves from Kiss. We are looking at 13 shots attempted on the other side. A couple of saves there from R9. Cosmo coming in with more of an offensive type situation. 3 goals and assists, and I believe that was 5 shots over there. So yeah, man, that was. This really felt like it was just the entire overtime was just this volleyball play after the actual 15-second kickoff or so. Like just a volleyball play back down where they're just like, oh my God, and they're running and there's 2 different players and it's on one. Oh my God, an insane defensive save. And then back down the other way. Okay, they put it against the wall right there, and then everybody's able to get there just in the nick of time. I have to go back to that Merc play where they go down and they actually opt to pick up big boost along the side instead of just centering this ball up, because they're already moving quickly, and pick up 1 or 2 dimes along the way to just get themselves a 24 boost.
Could be the difference here. We do now our final lobby of the evening. Our final game of this evening, a round 1 here for NECC playoffs that has really been delivering. 2 out of the 3 series we've seen today have gone to Game 7, and the only one that didn't went to a blessed game number 6. Rogers State Hillcats, they're fighting into the disadvantage ping with the way that they've been service swapping with the Broncos, but still, it's anyone's guess how this is going to end. Also, shout out to all the parents in the chat. If you're feeling your heart pounding, well, just grip your chest, take a deep breath, and get ready. We're already 30 seconds in.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Round and round we go. R9's not going to let that one first go. Molten Ice, flipping, twisting, turning. Not going to be bought into that one. The defensive will, and it's back to the middle of the pitch. Hungry Stork has no boost to get up to this one. Merc just waits for it on the ground. Big boost capabilities right there, but that's not centered, as a nose out from Stork just turns into a pass from a teammate. Just a traffic jam right there, so everyone's just trying to get away from each other without actually running in.
That was me trying to get onto the on-ramp anytime. I go on from the back roads to the major highway, but everyone navigates it pretty well. No traffic tickets, at least at this point, but also no goals. On first minute and 20, dangerous position because you have two players from the Hillcats into the same corner zone, and this is actually where we've been propagating and just maneuvering this same lane. And if you start getting a little bit too comfortable, things get a bit too easy. Broncos will be able to escape, Cosmo will be underneath it, and we go right back to the same corner.
Yeah, great job, Cosmo, just lining this one up, running perpendicular, running parallel, excuse me, and realizing that this isn't getting there any faster without the assistance of an opponent, and there's nobody there. Just kind of that cool hand loop play, 2 minutes, and I have to say, this is the longest 2 minutes we've seen these two teams score. What I mean by that, there's been at least one, if not two or even three scores in the first 2 minutes thus far, every one of these 6 games.
We got to be ready for this cross, and still dished out to the same side. Trying to win it through conditioning if they possibly can. R93G and Kist will connect. Cosmo is going to be very tentative about coming from that midfield line. Everyone is still feeling the repercussions of that previous overtime, so they're not trying to overextend. Hungry Stork wanted the ceiling reset so they can get their flip back. They're not going to gain any extra distance. Kiss is going to get from the wall instead, but Broncos have denied the Hillcats seeing blue territory. That could have been a dangerous position. They will double commit, but they don't exactly break out.
Yeah, and I have to say, if there was a player down bottom who wasn't forced to try and backflip at this one, then that'd have been a different story, because obviously they could have gotten it there just like a lot faster, and defenders were nowhere to be found. Could have finally been the icebreaker here between these two teams. 3 minutes in, no scores on boards quite yet. Oh, nice, since it's against the ceiling here to try and get a better angle for a teammate down low, and it's the full back play that once again finds value within the beautiful game of Rocket League. Hungry Stork gets this one in and just puts nose down into a defender. No opportunity to block that one away.
They had to change the script, change the story, change the narrative. They have been seeing the Hillcats stay into that corner, rotate safely, and suddenly when they can finally demo the third man, that opens up a gap, something of difference. Cosmo will take it away from at least that left to right motion, but it's the same over and over again. Now, where it felt like forever previously, this clock is now blitzing by if you're a Hillcat fan and player.
Yeah, there's plenty of cushion with which to move here. If you're a Rogers State Red player, first 3.5 minutes or so. Nice demo. Wow, and two Rogers State members have an opportunity at that one. Neither bites on it quickly. And that, just like that, snap of a finger turns from a dangerous, all hands on deck situation to, okay, hey, let's just take this back down the other way and waste a little bit more time, folks.
That's going to be one of those that you might look back at if you're Rogers State. That was the key opportunity to finally get a shot on, especially now with 60 seconds. Hillcats don't want their semester to end. Neither do the Broncos. Everything coming into tense moments where time is a factor. It is that third opponent that both teams play against. Trying for the drop in, they get the demo. But Merc got a touch just before that happens. Stork has a chance to put it out of reach.
Brutal. 37 seconds into this one now. Rogers State knows exactly what they have to do ahead of them. They were splitting their offensive into defensive much more so, right? So any time positioning that they have, they're going to split more so towards the offensive side to try and get this one back. And don't be surprised now if you see Broncos put up another one or even two in the next 30 seconds or so, as Rogers State just dedicates everything that they have into getting this ball on the other side of the pitch and backside of this net, completely disregarding their own net, because again, loss of 1, loss of 9. All the same. There's another one right here. Is Broncos State's members were trying to cheat up just a little bit more. 19 seconds to go, and this feels like the nail is in the coffin.
Casket was made with a nice little comfy pillow. Broncos Esports were slowly bringing the Hillcats over, but this one finally is now beginning its descent. 15 seconds, a game number 7, and a performance that the Hillcats can be proud of. But Broncos survived a scare, and it was daring all the same. Rogers State will see their semester end. The fall will be their longer winter before they get to see next competition. And this one will be moving forward. California State Polytechnic University out of Pomona, the Broncos Esports Gold. They'll be going to the semifinals.
It's pretty interesting, too. This one ends up pretty much exactly like the end of our first matchup between Edinburgh University and MSU. 6-0 right there, so obviously a little more one-sided in the end of that one, but the same exact kind of thing, right? Like, you get down here, it's a do-or-die type situation. Losing team just puts it all into offense, and the team that was already ahead ends up building upon their lead at least a little bit more. Fantastic stuff, man. We had a Game 6, a Game 7, and a Game 7. It ain't my birthday, so I'm not really sure why this is happening, Hail Monkey Man.
You missed your opportunity to say, the thing that you were teasing us with in the green room. Good old 6-7. So, we go through all of that just to be able to have that literally exist. But, hey, we were gifted with the possibility of out of 21 possible games, we got 20 of them. NECC Rocket League is alive and loud over in Playoffville. So we love that all of you were able to join us for it. But the week is not over. It's the middle of the week. It's a wild Wednesday. Tomorrow, we're going to be having some good old League of Legends. That'll be a fun one. We were talking about the MOBAs. We're talking about these awesome teams. Everyone putting in all the prep time, and of course, all the good time, especially for our production in the form of Chippy and Ramen Dragon. I feel like that we got to see some fantastic talent tonight, and of course, talk about me getting to join you. Pyro shifted his schedule just so we could finally hang out together, man. It's been great being with you.
It's a great time. Love casting with Pyro. Love casting with you, my friend. I want to give a big, big shout out to Buy Blue Light. Again, that's BYE Blue Light. You can head on over to Buy Blue Light, BYEBluelight.com, to check out a little bit more of what they have to offer, because we all know the blue light that comes from our monitors when we're gaming a lot, watching movies and whatnot, TV shows, podcasts, whatever on your PC. Blue light, not good for your eyes. Go check out BuyBlueLight.com. Also, Winslow's Meat Sticks. Yes, since 1977, Winslow's Meat Sticks has been providing those tasty Wisconsin meat sticks, 14 mouth-watering flavors. You got options here, folks. You got options. Big shout out to Winslow's Meat Sticks, as well as to Extron. Yes, high-end AV hardware. If you are looking for it, if you are interested in it, chances are you already know the name. You can head on over to extron.com to find out a little bit more about that hardware and that AV equipment that they have become very, very well known for. With that, Hail Monkey Man, I do believe, my friend, we have reached my least favorite part of any broadcast. That, of course, is the end. I've been FBI Tugboat. I will continue to be FBI Tugboat. If you liked what you heard, bang, right there. If you liked what you heard, bang, over there, at Hail_Monkeyman, spelled just like it is. Monkey Man, do you have anything else for the good people before we do bid them adieu?
No, this is it. Fantastic work overall. Make sure that you continue to support all of your awesome players, your students, your programs, because all of you showed up. That's exactly what we want to see all the time. That's what the NECC is all about. That's what collegiate, be it sports, esports, or just any involvement is all about. And I had a great time, Tugboat. This is honestly fantastic Wednesday.
Always have a good time working with you, my friend. Honestly, I think that those in chat, production staff, everybody else can really, really tell that one. Thank you to all the folks in chat. I want to back up what Monkey Man said. Yes, shout out Robin, shout out Chippy, making our jobs as casters that much easier. Appreciate y'all for watching. There will be plenty more NECC playoff action the rest of this week. You can just head on over to the website or the Twitter to find out exactly when. Appreciate y'all for watching. We will catch you on the flip side.